Welcome to the Nielson Show. Good morning. Tom Gazzola, Jay Milne, EST Glue Guy with you. YouTube Trev, making sure everything's running smoothly. We're a little tardy. I blame myself, Jay Milne.
Don't blame yourself, Tom. You're a champion.
I blame myself. I appreciate that. What time does that close at, by the way?
The draft vote closes at the end of the hangout this year. So we are, just hang on a sec here.
Oh,
just
look
a
at
little
that.
bit of a rookie mistake here, guys.
No, all good. All right,
sometimes
nasty.
you can't win them all.
Yeah.
There we go. We're under control.
There we go.
The draft vote ends at the end of the hangout, and I mean, are we just getting into it?
Well, we'll get into it.
I think we got to slow
we'll get
our
into
roll
it.
a bit
We'll slow burn it a little bit. But as always, Nasty Chat goes strong. We're going in. The boys, as they used to do at 1260, have taken away all the songs, all the bells and whistles. We had the internet disruption earlier. YouTube Trev had to get the new link up and running, but we're good to go. So myself and Jay will get you going for today. Of course, another day of programming here at EST, and it all wraps up with the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show as the Oilers take on the Devils. We've got a great show for you, as always. YouTube Trev is working on a Conch because they took that as well.
Well, and we really want to send out a conch to Jocelyn because her dog Luch goes in for surgery this morning.
Oh,
so,
shoot.
All the best wishes to you and your dog Luch.
All right, we're going to get that Conch. Trev's working on it diligently. He's got an ugly Christmas sweater on. What is that, buddy? What is that? Dash hound?
It's a dash hound that says dashing through the snow, and it loops around to my back.
Yeah, it does.
That's cute. That is
Yeah, it is pretty
adorable.
cute. Thank you. Yeah.
Adorable. All right, we're inside the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studios, and like I said, we do have a great show for you. We will get you through to the weekend, big one coming up, and we've got some great guests as always. Noodles joins us just after 7 o'clock, Jamie McLennan from TSN, and then we'll catch up with Ian Rapoport, getting you set for Week 16 in the National Football League. All kinds of crap going on in the NFL. Like, this Aaron Rodgers stuff seems silly, but some people think it's cool that he's been activated to the 53-man roster. He won't play the rest of the year. I don't know. Like, I find Rapoport will be able to give us a sense of why they did this and how this is part of his progress, Rodgers' progress in getting back into action. But he's not going to play this year, Jay. Obviously, the Jets aren't going to go anywhere this year. They're not going to make the playoffs. I'm kind of over Aaron Rodgers right now.
Well, I think a lot of people share your sentiment.
Thank you.
But am I over Aaron Rodgers? No, because I think he's still got the game, right? I think he's still going to play. He said earlier in the week that next year will probably be his last year. I've always been an Aaron Rodgers guy. Aaron Rodgers, right? But I think this year with the speedy recovery from his torn Achilles hampered the Jets in a way because his prognosis and his recovery was so fast that there was hope. There was this hope that, hey, if we can get through this stretch and Aaron Rodgers can come back week 17, 18, make a playoff run, then it's worth it.
Sure.
But that also kept them away from going and signing one of the quarterbacks that was available earlier. I mean, this happened the first series of the first play of the game of the year.
Fourth play, right? Fourth play
of the home, like the season opener.
That's right.
So the Jets at that time had a lot of time to go and get a quarterback. Now there's nobody. I mean, geez, the Browns are playing with Joe Flacco, for heaven's sakes. So I think that gave them a little bit of false hope that they could maybe get through with Zach Wilson. He's not the answer. Trevor Siemian's not the answer. But I do hope that Aaron Rodgers comes back ready to go. Looks like his leg's good to go. I don't know what he's smoking or inhaling or taking or what. But
he's listening to dolphins mating.
Okay. I knew it was something.
Seriously. That was what he described. Like, I know he's on Pat McAfee's show, and that show is a juggernaut, and that's good for him. Maybe he's setting up his post-playing days career by doing this, but, like, Jay, so I was with you. Like, I was an Aaron Rodgers guy when they won the Super Bowl. I was like, this guy's awesome. He was like dating movie stars, when he had Olivia Munn as his girlfriend. I was like, oh, man, I'd love to be an NFL quarterback. And then now he's turned into a weirdo. And it's like, all right, stop it, man.
Yeah.
You were here, and you're knocking yourself down.
Yeah, he's controversial for sure.
Yeah.
So that's definitely separated a line between, do you like the personal Aaron Rodgers or do you like the on-field Aaron Rodgers?
I don't even know anymore.
Unless you're a Chicago Bears fan or a Detroit Lions fan,
yeah,
there's really no reason why you shouldn't like the on-field Aaron Rodgers, as a general football fan.
Right.
I mean, I get it. You don't like your rivals. You don't like anybody in the NFC. I'm a Commanders fan, a lowly, hapless Commanders
You're
fan.
one of like 7 in the province of Alberta.
Yeah, stay strong.
Yeah.
But, I get it. I get both sides of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
But from a pure football standpoint, you always want to see somebody go out at least a little bit on, closer to their ceiling as opposed to going out with a bad injury.
Right. Okay, so we'll talk to Rapoport about Aaron Rodgers and obviously other things that are more important in the National Football League as we gear up for Week 16. Games 4 days in the coming, we have Thursday. 4 of the next 5 will feature NFL games. We've got the Thursday nighters tonight. You got games on Saturday, games on Sunday, and then you got the Christmas games on Monday.
What do you feel about the Christmas games?
I like them as a fan of sports and the NFL, and to a lesser extent the NBA. Sorry, Jasmine, if you're listening. But I also understand how disruptive they can be for the players' families, the staff of both teams' families, the people that are working at the arenas, the broadcast crew. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, but I think for the most part, the majority of people enjoy them. Yeah. And I think it's probably a cash cow for the leagues that do the Christmas Day games.
And I don't think most people would look at it as if it is a hindrance to star quarterback's family can't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, no,
with him
they don't care.
I get the support staff and the broadcast
Stadium
crew.
staff and all that.
Yeah, that's a lot. But those games still sell out. So there is an appetite for it. I mean, there's a lot of people that do Christmas differently than others. So personally, I love it because you're always off on Christmas. You're always with family. It's nice to have, I find, sports on in the background.
Yeah,
we're a sports house, as you would imagine we all are here.
Yep.
So having that on a special day such as Christmas, I like that. And I like when they pack them in. Triple header or
yes.
Make it a day's worth.
Yes. I'm with you on that, but I understand. And I remember there was a couple of times with the Oilers we traveled and there was a game. I can't remember if they still did Boxing Day games. I think they still did, and we would travel on Boxing Day, so it kind of dampened Christmas. You couldn't wind it up as much as you wanted to. Not that that's like the most important thing, but I think it was a bit odd at the time. And I was like, this kind of sucks. It's a bit of a buzzkill. So I understand that element of it, but I'm like you, Jay. I love seeing live sports. I like having it on. What's going on in the game? Oh, who's playing? Oh, okay, I can watch this for half an hour.
Well, and given that we're in such a commercialized society now, think of all the eyes that are on the games those days, right, for your sponsors. So there's that aspect too. Yeah, like Dan Spence, he says in the nasty chat, do you remember when there was only hotels open on Christmas? Right?
Good point.
I mean, it is a sacred day, and we're crossing that line. Personally, I like it.
Yeah.
But same. I do, there is that give and take when you go too far. But bring me some football.
You're getting some football this weekend, my friend. All right, so that will be Rapoport at 7:40. And then, of course, we've got 3 questions too many and kind of easy trivia. Be sure to get your questions in as we progress through the morning. And then to cap things off and to send everyone into the holiday weekend, Rod Black, the legend, will join us at 8:20. We'll, of course, do an orange and blue breakfast because the Oilers are taking on the New Jersey Devils. Myself, Matty Cassian, YouTube Trev will be back on the air this afternoon, early evening, 4 o'clock for the Oil Stream pregame show. Can the Oilers snap this 3-game losing skid? I think it's possible. Just a couple of things need to be cleaned up. We've got some new lines, And we'll see if the Oilers can get the job done. So we will have the pregame show for you right here on EST at 4 p.m. Of course, you can hit us up at the Paris Jewelers inbox. People already are. 780-218-9999. Local family-owned business that started in Edmonton with 22 stores across Canada. And if you're thinking of a holiday proposal, Paris Jewelers has a great selection of engagement rings, including lab-created engagement rings starting at $34.99, and that means $3,499, not $34.99. Propose now and pay later with their flexible financing options. Do not pay for 1 year. So get in on the nasty chat. Get in on the Paris Jewelers inbox. YouTube Trev's doing good. I know we want to do Conches, so he's working on that.
Do you know what a conch sound? Can I just be the conch guy today? I've already been asked.
You can try.
What's it like? It's like. How's that?
That was not bad. Better than I expected.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I opened my hands a bit. But I think well, that was the conch.
He's new here.
Yeah. Let Nasty Chat let us know. Do you want me to grab a conch or
get a conch?
Okay,
get a conch.
Gosh, for the love of God, Trev, get one.
I was gonna say I like that. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, Petter's Pancake says conch. Joe Belanaski says perfect. I saw. I'm gonna read some texts that are coming in. 780-218-9999. Rip City Step. Good morning, pal. How you doing? Rip City Step says his own family doesn't like Aaron Rodgers. Didn't he have beef with his brother? Because his brother
Jordan Rodgers. Yeah.
Yeah, and his brother was the Bachelorette.
He was the Bachelor one year, and it was an exciting. I mean, I didn't watch it. I just heard about it on Twitter and such.
Yeah, you and Awanek.
I didn't watch it.
Look at you giggling over
I heard it was a really good series that year. But no, there was something going on. I think. I think it stemmed like Aaron Rodgers, from what I understand, had disowned his family, like kind of went recluse from them.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's more people that know about it and chime in on the Nasty Chat or at the Paris Jewelers inbox. But I believe that's where the separation was, and then there was an effort to try and, I guess, make a bridge that gap, but he was definitely against it. So
way past it.
Yeah, it's never nice to see, but you never know. There's probably so many issues that go on in families and NFL locker rooms that we just don't hear of because they've got good PR people. But yeah, that definitely was Rip City Step. That definitely was a thing. So that's the personal side of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
that unfortunately has become so intertwined with his football side of things, and it's mudding the waters, I guess you could say.
Well, we'll talk about it later with Ian Rapoport and that among many other things as we go into an exciting weekend in the National Football League. Speaking of like marketing teams, J Milne and stuff like that, have you seen this Tommy DeVito stuff where like he had to hire a marketing team because of the pizza place, the local pizza place he was supposed to go to, and then the appearance fee was like $10,000, and then he had another big game, and the appearance fee doubled to $20,000, and it turned into this big thing. I think ultimately he showed up and he did.
He went back and did it at his original $10,000 for Tommy DeVito to show up at your pizza place.
What has he won? 3 of 4 or 4 of 5?
I mean, hey, the kid's on a roll.
Three of his first 4
I think that's
starts.
Great, but I mean, he was number 3 quarterback coming into the season for the Giants.
Yeah.
Now he's, and the story behind his agent, the Italian mobster looking guy, really sharp dressed guy, actually really well spoken guy. I heard him on a podcast earlier this week.
Yeah,
man, is he really like? He's
the guy with the hat.
Yeah. He's a dad of 4 girls. He's got a wife that he's been married to for, I think, over 30 years. He played Div 1 NCAA football.
Yes.
Yeah. So heck of an athlete, heck of a story. He's actually written a book. He didn't just come out of nowhere. He's come onto the scene a bit here, given his, I guess, just the story, right? Tommy DeVito. And then this agent of his that looks like He's straight out of the
mafioso. But he does. That's deliberate, man. That's like.
Oh, and please
trying
take
to get
advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Do it. Why wouldn't you?
How long do you have that spotlight for? When's Tommy DeVito? Is he going to be a regular in the NFL after this season? I don't know. Maybe
hope so.
Now he will be.
I hope so. I don't know, but I can't stand watching the Giants, so I don't know. But I hope so. You're getting, man, the narwhal talk here is just.
Hey, Mr. Narwhal. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad. Tube Socks texts in Paris Jewelers inbox. Forget Aaron Rodgers. Let's give it up for the narwhal. You guys didn't like that pick, but I think it worked out. Like, I picked lovable Christmas characters and Batman.
I think they did like it.
Oh, they did like it. Okay. Okay, good.
This is funny. Strummy says, wow, Dusty got younger and Eric got a lot older. Thanks, Strummy.
Bumblebee Tuna, Strummy, Bumblebee Tuna. Good to hear from you. Pat Maroons. Bibb says, get animal control. Someone has let a wounded buffalo into the EST studio.
That could be true, too.
So Jay Milne in for Eric. I'm in for Dusty as we get you set for the Christmas weekend. YouTube Trev getting a conch. He's finding, I think he found one. You found one? Oh, okay, great. We'll have, and I think I saw, who had it? Was it Barry? Barry said, are you going to play the Jeff Walker conch? And Milne, I don't know if you know this, like back on 1260, I'd always fill in for Dusty on the morning show, and it was myself and Lieutenant Eric, but it was just the two of us. It was a 2-man operation, not a 3-man. And then sometimes Jeff Walker, who was one of our producers, he worked on the post-game show with me. He would fill in for Eric as well in the mornings. And he found like this really bad conch that, because again, the boys keep their songs and their music and all the conches and the sounds on their computers and did not share them on the work computer that runs everything, boys. And so we had to scramble, and Walker, who we nicknamed the post-game Ranger, ended up finding this weird conch, and then he found one that sounded like just farts. So that's what Barry Batkey's alluding to there.
I feel bad for YouTube, Trev, because they've left us in a lurch here, essentially, with no audio.
Here's your show. You're fine. Tommy, you've done it a million times. Yeah, I know. I have. We're okay.
YouTube Trev's the man.
He is the man.
He's great. The man. He's the best.
Get him. Look at that mustache. Oh, ooh, ooh, wow. Yeah, he looks like Super Mario. I'm going to stop that.
Oh, that was a Super Mario?
Yeah.
I think you were more going for like a woohoo.
Yeah, that's it. That's Super Mario. But he's working on a conch. So get those conch requests in for the first hour. We want to dish them all out to you because it is the holiday season, and we're in the mood to give, if you will. 780-218-9999, the Paris Jewelers inbox if you want to get in there. What are you guys doing this holiday season? Let me know. Any odd family traditions that you thought was normal, and then you kind of like talk to other families, or you grew up and then you had your own family and you're like, hey, that was kind of bizarre. Or you meet your spouse and you go, at Christmas we do this, and they are like, why do you do that? That's strange. Like we did this thing, and it started happening later. As my brothers and I got older, I think it started happening like 10 years ago. I don't know if we're going to do it again, but we did this thing where we did like a family photo, and we would just raid my parents' closet. And my mom, being a Polish lady, would have all these like weird scarves and fur coats and like babushka caps.
Yes.
And my dad kept everything from the 70s. So we would all like wear their stuff and do like this weird mishmash. And we would take the dog and we would sit my mom down, and the dog would sit on my mom's lap, and we would all just like stand behind my mom with the Christmas tree in the background. We called it the Bulgarian Street Gang. But then we're like, oh, that might be offensive to Bulgarians. So I
think that's a compliment.
Yeah. So we would do that. We did it for like 4 or 5 years. Then my cousin from Italy, Sophia, came and visited for, I think, a month, and she was staying at my parents' place, and we were doing Christmas, and she's like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, it's this thing.
It's a Bulgarian street.
Yeah, like here's what we did last year. Here's what we did 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And she's like, oh, that looks like fun. I want to do that. And she was front and center with my mom. She had like a cigarette in her mouth. And we're like, wow, Sophia, do you smoke? She's like, no, but I wanted to have it for the picture. And we're like, okay. So something like that. If you have any weird, bizarre Christmas holiday season, family things that you do, traditions that might be left of center to others, let us know via the inbox or the nasty chat. I want to hear from you. And as we go along throughout the day, we will share those if you're cool with it. Jay Milne, you guys have anything, you and your daughters and your wife, like, do you guys do anything? Or when you were a kid, did you guys have anything that was kind of your family thing during the holiday season that might be like, oh, that's different?
Not really. Like, we'll get together. Like, my family, we do it where 1 year it's an away Christmas, 1 year it's a home Christmas. So this year it's a home Christmas. So
okay,
everybody's going to be going over to my mom and dad's house on Christmas Day for supper. And we always finish the night with a game of Stop the Bus.
What's that?
31. So it's like you get dealt 3 cards. If you have a suited, I forget exactly how it works, but let's say you have a king, queen, and an ace of spades. You have 31. You trump everybody. So everybody gets 3 chips. Everybody puts in $5, say. You get 3 chips. So that means you get 3 times you're kicked out, and then you're on the bus, and then it's over. So everybody plays. And in my family, there's probably, I think there's close to 30 people that
and they all play?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, young kids, we're trying to teach them gambling at a young age in
Smart.
our place. So
as one does.
Yeah. So everybody's got money in the game, so everybody's vested into it. So that's always fun. It's a good game. My wife's side, her dad, now he doesn't do it so much anymore, thank God, but he would always have this, I think it's called lutefisk or lutefisk.
I don't know.
It is.
What is this?
The most horrendous smelling salted pickled cod, I think it is. Oh. Like, it comes out. You remember when you used to like dissect a pig?
Yeah.
And it was in that
formaldehyde.
And you pull it out and it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
And that's what lutefisk looks like.
And he eats this.
We have to eat it.
Why?
Because it's a tradition. Because they did it when they were young and they're from the old, He doesn't do it anymore.
Oh, thank God.
Thank goodness. Yeah, lutefisk, Joe Bell. My buddy Joe. Joe's my buddy. We figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah, he was giving me a little bit of gears yesterday for talking a little bit, and
Who,
I do
Joe
talk.
Bellinasky?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe
He's
Bellinasky.
my guy.
He's good.
Yeah,
he's good.
He's my guy.
He's funny. YouTube, Trev, any traditions like that you guys?
For as long as I can remember, we'd always play bingo for Christmas.
Yeah.
Is that common?
I think that's more of a normal thing. Like,
yeah,
games like we play Mexican Train. I hope that's the proper name for it.
Yeah. I don't think that's cancel culture yet.
I hope not. But we play this the
It's
domino.
the name of the game. It's the name of the game.
It's a lot of fun. But so you guys play bingo.
Yeah.
Everybody
the
everybody
whole
sticks
fam,
around.
Everyone sticks around after supper.
Yeah.
Grandma gets gifts for everyone. First one in bingo. It's usually for the guys. And another kind of funny tradition is I don't know if it's been going on for 10 years, but I think my stepdad started it, but the guys always get a pair of boxers or whatever as our first gift, and we put it on our heads for the whole game, and then we have that. And I think actually, I'm trying to remember if we play bingo after, but so all the guys, we wear our nice new underwear on our heads for while we continue to play bingo.
Yeah, that's probably the best time.
Yeah.
And
I
the only
like
time
that.
to
I
wear
like that.
underwear on your head.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Get your Christmas traditions in. We want to hear from you. 780-218-9999. Paris Jewelers inbox or via the nasty chat. Tube Sock says Christmas Eve is always crokinole night at Casa del Tube Socks. And then I think I saw a couple of people. They actually want a J. Milne Conch. So I think
heard this.
Strummy. So we're gonna do one for Strummy. Trev, are you close to getting an actual?
Yeah, I have
Okay,
one.
He
we'll have-
requested a J Conch.
Yeah, I know.
Give
I'll
the
read
man
it.
what he wants.
I'll read it. It's in the nasty chat from Strummy. It says, boys, can I get a J Conch for my 8-year-old who scored his second Michigan goal last night? Well done, young Strummy.
I extended it for 2 goals.
awesome.
Yeah,
I extended it for 2 goals.
Very thoughtful of you. All right, get those Conch requests in. We do have the actual Conch sound. And as well, share your maybe odd Christmas traditions that you guys do with your family. We took a weird photo every year for the last, I think, 7 or 8 years. We called it the Bulgarian Street Gang, and it just came out of nowhere. We just started wearing what my parents had in their front closet. And my dad had stuff from the 70s and 80s that he never threw away because he's a hoarder. And my mom would have her, like, fur coats from Europe and all the clothes she's collected over the years. Although she's very good at purging. She buys a lot of stuff.
Did you see that? It was his second Michigan goal.
Second mission. I know. That's how good the kids are these days. Jeez. The skill is off the hook.
I like this one on the Paris Jewelers inbox. Our family tradition is to plan too much and yell at each other from the stress of trying to do it all.
Oh, that's tough.
For Chris. Nice one. I like that.
Chris with that one. All right, keep those coming in. We'll sprinkle a bit as we go along. Conch request till 7 o'clock. Noodles coming up from TSN. Jamie McLennan. We'll catch up with him, go around the National Hockey League. Busy night in the NHL, including the Oilers and the New Jersey Devils. Time now for a sports update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting services, whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential. Plan it right with Green Plan. Visit greenplan.com or give them a call at 780-455-4292. In the NHL, just 3 games last night. Gabe Vilardi extended his goal streak to 4 games as the Jets knocked off the Red Wings 5-2. Dylan Strome notched the OT winner as the Caps defeated the Islanders 3-2. Alex Ovechkin, goalless drought, now at 14 games. They're talking, is he going to beat the Gretzky record? I don't know. He's got to start scoring. In the late game last night, Joey Decord made 42 saves, tying a Kraken franchise record, while Jordan Eberle's 4th goal of the season was the game winner. In the NBA Association City, what up, Jasmine? Scotty Barnes put up 30, but Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and the Nuggets were too much for the Raptors to handle as they fall 113-104. The Raptors just 3-7 in their last 10, have not won more than 2 games in a row all season long. Week 16 in the NFL kicks off today with the Saints visiting the Rams. Also, like we talked about, Jets QB Aaron Rodgers has been activated off of the IR, but will not play this season. And, of course, tonight, like I mentioned, the Oilers look to snap their 3-game losing streak when they visit the New Jersey Devils. Myself, Matty Cassian, YouTube Trev will get you set for tonight's tilt on the Oil Stream pregame show, 4 p.m., right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Of course, this sports update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting services. And Jay Milne will be handling the sports updates the rest of the show. You think you can handle that? You can do that.
Waka waka, I can do it.
If
I can do a conch, jeez. Don't think I can do a sport?
Well, your
update?
conch was all right.
All right, let's hear what you got.
Right. What do you got? What'd you get? Like, can we hear it?
Okay, so bear with me here.
Right.
I need to make sure the audio sounds okay. Okay, let's give
You know what's
this a
crazy?
go.
Is
Let's
like,
give
did
this
they
a go.
even leave us like a club beat loop remix?
No,
Oh,
not a thing. Okay,
typical.
so I might have to adjust the audio.
let's
bear
I don't
with me.
understand that. Like, are these things that you put in a briefcase and take with you over to the Spengler Cup? Like,
Yeah.
is this not
Apparently,
all?
Yes.
apparently,
That's what happens.
I'm learning this too. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We're all okay. We're
good.
in it together.
We're good.
We're in it
Okay,
together.
let's
Let's
hear
hear
this.
this
Let's
conch.
hear this.
Do not wreck my ears.
Okay. Okay, I didn't hear that last part when I downloaded.
You know what? It'll work.
I like that.
It'll work. 780-218-9999. Of course.
I like this one. My Baba would always give out a scratch ticket to everyone, and
Yes.
we would see who wins something. Did that for decades. That's good.
I like my buddy Brett.
I gotta say, I don't know if that was the conch or if that was coming from the bathroom that's directly behind us. It seemed a little bit leaky at the end. I gotta
Oh, I love it. That's gonna stick. That's gonna be our holiday conch.
say it will. No, that'll be our conch.
That's our conch.
Yes,
Okay.
just
Going
us.
forward when
Just
we do the
us.
morning show, deal. Shake and bake.
Yeah, shake and
Shake and
bake.
bake.
Solidarity.
They're
Right
gonna-
here.
They're gonna be jealous of your guys' conch.
Can
That's
we- can
way
we do it-
cooler.
Can we do it again?
One more. Let's hear it again. If you want this conch, hit us up in the nasty
Oh, it's
chat
going over very well.
or the Paris Jewelers inbox.
It's the ending. It's the ending that just makes it so good. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Joe Belanaski says his family has lasagna on Christmas Day for dinner. Can I get a conch for Joe Belanaski's family having lasagna on Christmas Day for dinner? Something that we do too, and I love it. It's a great tradition. Evidently, we know meatloaf. That's a joke that goes back a couple of years to the 1260 days. But Joe Belanaski's family, here's one for the lasagna. I love that. 780-218-9999. Also, the Nielson Show brought to you by A&W. The month of December, you can enjoy 2 A&W Mama Burgers for $9.99, made with a seasoned grass-fed beef patty topped with pickles, onion, ketchup, mustard, and teen sauce, all on a toasted sesame seed bun. Available at participating A&W locations, and most A&W drive-thrus are open 24 hours. Yes, Mr. EST Glue Guy, I see you got something.
Oh, yeah, this one's good. It hits home. And
right.
This is from the Buff Puffin. And I just,
Buff Puffin.
I just want to hear.
All right.
I just want to hear this again. So, boys, could I get a conch from my daughter who turns 1 week old today? Growing the AM Nasty 9 months at a time. I like it. Let's hit it up for the Buff Puffin.
Oh, Buff
good.
Puffin, congrats, man. Congrats. Good to hear from you. I hadn't heard Buff Puffin in a while.
That is good. Rusty Shackelford says, is that the conch or is that the draftees sitting down in the EST hangout chairs?
Well, those chairs make that noise. And I thought we've broken them in. We've been doing the show for, 3.5 months now? And we bought the brand new, and they still make that noise. And the first timers that go in for the hangout are always like, oh, sorry. And it's like, no, it's just the
I
chair.
still do it every time.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
What do you got?
Strummy uploaded the video of his kid scoring the mission goal.
How good is it?
Unreal.
Nice. I love that we can.
That's awesome. This is great.
Yeah.
Technology's amazing.
Isn't it crazy?
Except we don't have any audio files.
Yeah, well. Bob Loblaw in Lloyd, great name, says, can I get a conch for the last workday of the year? Bob Loblaw in Lloyd, my old stomping grounds. Yes, 100%. Okay. I wanna end this little discussion with a text from Milkman Rob, which we'll get to. But let's recap the draft yesterday, the EST Christmas characters draft, because it was fun. It was Quinn Phillips' debut as commissioner of the EST draft, taking over for the disgraced former commissioner Matthew Owanek. I thought she did a great job. I understand where people chimed in and said you can't be passing off picks. And Quinn even said throughout the morning and the process of doing a draft and the shots are flying for real, she learned a lot. And maybe she will not recommend and make pick suggestions going forward to Dustin Bartholomew Nielson like she did. But I thought she did a really good job. I'm happy to have her on board. And I'm happy with the results. We have a couple hours left before the poll closes. Check out our EST Twitter account on X, Twitter, whatever the hell is it called. And you can still vote if you haven't already. I think we're creeping up to 900 votes last time I checked.
Yeah, it's good. It's you're definitely in the lead, and I don't see that going away. I've got some bones to pick.
Like?
Okay.
Let's hear it.
All right. I've got to get this off my chest. I've got to air my grievances.
It's almost Festivus. This is the last morning show before Festivus.
No, I'm just kidding. Kind of. I think that Quinn did a great job.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not hard. It's not easy sitting in there. It's not easy. It's not easy when you're there and the pressure's on and all your notes are getting ticked off one at a time. I went in with a strategy. I thought it played well. I was happy with my draft.
Yes.
Dustin, I thought his draft was much weaker than anyone else's, and I don't think that can be disputed.
Yeah.
Where I have to speak out on, and I have to, is I think Lieutenant Eric got a bit hosed, okay? The planes,
Like
trains,
Justin-
and automobiles pick.
Okay.
Okay, that was the one. That was the one. If you look at the cover of the movie or the movie poster for Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, what do you see? It's all Christmas decorations. Now, the movie was set, I get it, it was set in American Thanksgiving, but the point was that this kind of transpired into traditional Christmas season. And that got poo-pooed. So and it caused another walkout. And I'm starting to worry.
I wasn't happy about the walkout.
It can't happen.
It was his birthday, so I'll let that one slide, but I didn't like it.
Well, and you know what? I saw a couple tweets last night that were saying, remember when this just used to be a draft? The
It was never
boys
just a draft.
I know, and that was a little bit romantic, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah, touche.
I do think that the shenanigans need to stop, and we need to complete drafts because that needs to respect the draft.
Right.
Now, Quinn did learn yesterday. She got blasted on, helping and aiding and abetting Dustin to his final elf pick, who he had no hot clue who he was going to pick, had it not been for her saying it was a female elf. Now, I won't, she's learning. So that's fine.
Yes.
You gotta have a few of those so you can, get used to it.
She's helpful in nature, too.
She is.
Yeah.
Unlike past Commissioner Wannick, who would have just put his foot down and, no, one Grinch. He would have said one Grinch, right?
Yeah, he would have. He would have made us mad.
He probably would have said one Santa. Deal with it. 2,000 years
in the
of Santa
category.
Right? So, I you know what? It's a great, it's good. That's the other thing.
What?
We've never put names. We've never outed the voters online.
Oh, right.
The one draft where I have a chance to take on the powerhouses that are you, Dusty, and Eric, nameless. And then, I'm happy for you. I think you deserve the win. I really believe
that one.
Yeah, and that was just you put down a solid draft.
Thank you.
It's clear. You made the right picks. Norwal was outside the the box, but it obviously played, right? Because you're getting a lot of love. Yeah, I love that. So you deserve the win. I thought, and when it started, it was you and I at the top, and Dusty and Eric 15%. Well, soon as the names catch on, people want to vote for and I get it. Mm-hmm. I'm the new guy. Nobody knows me.
You're the glue guy.
Without names, though, it takes all that out of it.
It does.
So, and that's on Iwanic, because he was the guy that posted it. And he said Commissioner Quinn didn't say anything to him.
He's passing the buck.
About names. I'm like, buddy, you're the guy that's done this for how many years? It's not on Commissioner Quinn to say names or no names. So I think he was passing the buck there.
A little bit.
And doing Iwanic things. I mean, let's face it.
You could see, I'm going to say it, the shit-eating grin on his face when things were going a little bit haywire or Quinn was overwhelmed, but she wasn't too overwhelmed. But you could tell Iwanic was kind of lapping it up, and he's like, see, it's not easy. It's not easy being the commissioner. These guys are hard to deal with. Of course, we're all personalities. We all have different opinions on how the draft should run. At the same time, you've got the nasty chat going, and then you've got the text line going. And Quinn had 2 laptops going at one time, keeping track of all the picks, telling us to hurry up, answering any questions and concerns. And she was watching the nasty chat. She was like, "Oh my God, nasty chat gets nasty." And we're like, "Yeah, you need it. It toughens you up, and it can beat you down." But that's the nature of it. So for Quinn, like she said, lesson learned. She grew as commissioner in that 2-hour frame when we did the show. She's only going to be better for it. I think we're in a good place as a whole.
I think we are as well going ahead. And Dan Spence says it's become theater.
But
what's the problem with that?
It's a show.
It's you know what? And it's not like we have notes and we're making you draft you and when you do this we're gonna go and you're gonna
I'm gonna get mad at you here.
This is great. If it's theater, then I think it's doing the job because it's not fake. None of that is fake. All the emotion that you're seeing is real. We generally thought Quinn was offside when she was doing that.
Yeah.
And you heard it from us.
Yeah.
We generally thought that Eric got screwed on that. Now, Eric, he didn't help himself there. He didn't help himself.
No.
He should have brought it back in and got it under control. If he walks out, like, he can't walk out again, right?
I think the impact of the walkout is gone now because he's done it twice. The first one was like, okay, bravo. Like, that took cojones to do. And that last draft before the one we did yesterday was, I've experienced some, like, high emotion drafts or some fun drafts or wild ones. That one was, like, on a different level because Owanek quitting on us the way he did was unexpected. We said, did you plan that? Because we were giving him grief all week long. But he was fueling the fire that whole week. Like, Owanek loves to needle. And we're just like, what are you talking, Matthew? Like, this makes no sense. And then he would be like, no, listen, this is why we're doing this. This makes, you have 49 years of this and that. And we're like, oh, dude, why? You're ruining so many angles to this draft. And so that got us up in a tizzy.
There was a lot of pent-up aggression from that because it was just unnecessary.
Right.
It was unnecessary.
And then he quits on us.
He quits.
Yeah, even though...
Let's remember that.
And we voted to see if we would keep him on. We said, we'll give him another chance.
Would.
That was sincere.
We said we would because we liked the guy.
And he's like, you know what? I quit. And, like, he said it deadpanned. But I guarantee when he walked out back to his little office there, he had a big friggin' smile on his face.
If anything's theater, it's him.
Yeah.
Right?
He's drama.
Yeah. Conch that. Steak by Trevor comes into the Paris Jewelers inbox. He said, if he walks out again, his draft is voided. Instant relegation.
Ooh, that is a severe punishment. But
walkout is a lifetime ban.
A good way to
keep
him
commish.
In line. Oh, you don't want to be commish.
No. That's what it says on the nasty chat.
Who wants to be commish?
Doughfish Pete.
Doughfish Pete. Yes, Doughfish Pete. Great alias and handle. Milkman Rob says, can we get a conch for the most underrated Christmas character that won Tommy the draft? Thanks, Mr. Narwhal. Hey, buddy. Hope you That's too good. Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Haas comes in and says, online, this is what it says about planes, trains, and automobiles.
Okay.
Which landed in cinemas on November 25th, 1987. It is a family Christmas movie in all but its calendar setting.
So it should have counted.
Should have counted.
I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen that movie in decades.
Yeah.
And it's a classic. I love Steve Martin, John Candy, R.I.P., obviously.
I got to be honest. When it was first said,
it
didn't enter my head. It was not on any of my notes that this was a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But, I guess it is. And Rocky.
That one I was like, well, because I had Batman.
Like, what are we doing here? That's how bad his draft was. That's why I can't believe this guy's neck and neck with me fighting for second place.
Well,
what's that all about?
The other thing too is like he went heavy Christmas Vacation. He stacked it up. I appreciate him going with Clark Griswold and Cousin Eddie, and he even got Ellen. I really do appreciate that. And that movie is a holiday classic, even though it's not my favorite of the Vacation family, right? But I think like an overemphasis on it, like too much of a good thing, Jay?
100%. 100%.
And even Ellen Griswold, even though Beverly D'Angelo's a saint.
What's that pick?
But that was a weird pick. And I know I kind of went a little left of center with Mr. Narwhal. I took Snoopy, but
you're mixing it up.
You're mixing it up, and these are characters that are staples during the holiday season.
100%.
That are like front and center. Whereas Ellen, as much as I love Ellen Griswold, and she's the perfect foil to Clark, it's not one that you go, man, Ellen was great in that film.
That's not why you remember that.
You know? Like, why do you remember Ellen Griswold in Vegas Vacation? Because Wayne Newton was all over her.
She had definitely more of a prominent role in Vegas Vacation than she did in Christmas Vacation. You don't watch Christmas Vacation for
Ellen.
Ellen.
Great legs in Christmas Vacation, though.
And who was the last one?
Which one?
His last pick. Another female. Megan? No.
Mary from
Christmas Vacation.
I don't remember.
It was
her.
like a.
Was it the young girl?
I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know. Just, you know what?
Yeah.
It's good to air our dirty laundry. It's good to,
right.
get those things out there.
We have a couple minutes left. Let's get to some more Conch requests to wrap up the first hour of the Nielsen show. 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. And then we do have Noodles coming up just after 7. We do have to get to a sports update right away here. Jay Milne's going to do his first one ever. But we want to dish out some conches. And I want to read some holiday traditions that some of our nasties and listeners and viewers have that might be unique to their families. And so let's get to some of these. CB Radio guy says, happy Christmas, fellers. I just want to say I'm grateful to have you back on the air talking sports. It's been a crazy year, and 2 great things have happened this year. You guys are back. And number 2, I can finally say this daddy likes the AM Nasty as my wife is pregnant with our first little baby girl. Have a great holiday, you filthy animals. CB Radio guy.
Round of clicks before the conch.
Round of clicks. There you go, Trev. And a conch to CB Radio. Congrats, pal. Congrats, man.
Congrats. Chucktastic comes in. Last day of work for the year. 2 weeks off for the holidays. Christmas shopping and wrapping complete. Triggering horrible family members. Nowhere to be seen this Christmas. Merry Christmas, boys. Squeaky conch me, please.
Yes.
So good.
Strovi says he has a lot of videos of his son. That's great. This one says, last day of work of the year, 2 weeks off for the holidays, Christmas shopping and wrapping complete. Triggering horrible. Yeah, that was from Chuck. Sorry, I'm rereading that.
Maybe it's a tour.
No, sometimes as this new system has done a few times, sometimes you click on one of the new texts and it loads up an old one. I've noticed that. Because another text said, can you not access sound files in the nasty signed up site? Yeah, we don't even have access to that. Trev's just like, no.
Sherwood Sheldon, Merry Christmas, boys. Can I get a conch for my boss who's flying down to get me so I don't have to travel commercially through crowded holiday airports and wait for a connection?
That's clutch.
Sherwood Sheldon in Midland, Texas. Ho!
On the PJ.
Was that a conch?
That's
was
a conch.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's huge. Ooh.
It doesn't get old.
It doesn't. This one comes in and it says, how about a conch for myself and our crew battling through our 4th day of a grueling inventory count, but surviving thanks to the AM Nasty. That's from Dirty Mike. So this one's for Dirty Mike and his boys. Love it, Dirty Mike.
I've got a conchable thing.
For sure.
How about a conch for good old Tommy Gazzola taking down his first draft in the EST
Era.
studio?
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, too good. Too good. Send in your holiday traditions that your family does that might be quirky or that you guys have just done and you thought was normal and it's not normal. Like putting boxers on your head that your grandma gave you, like YouTube Trev does.
Ever since I can remember,
Ever
like
since
grade
you
2.
can remember. Taking a weird family photo wearing your parents' old clothes that they never threw away, like our family was doing forever. And then
Eating stinky fish.
Oh, yeah. And then playing, what's the 31?
It's called Stop the Bus.
Stop the Bus. Okay. Yeah.
Staple. Just Google it. It's a great game. All the kids can play. It's super easy. A little bit of math lessons in there too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, keeping the kids going.
Yeah, that's good. Teaching them about investments, money management.
Teaching them why you shouldn't gamble.
Why you shouldn't gamble. I want to send out one more conch on behalf of all of us here at EST to the Nasties. Anybody who's stuck with us from the 1260 days. Actually, everybody who's stuck with us from the 1260 days, and to all of our new listeners and viewers. We couldn't do this without you, as well as all of our great partners. So a conch to all of you this holiday season. Last conch of the year, I would say. Yeah.
Big one.
Fantastic. Fantastic stuff. Jay Milne, you ready for your first sports update?
I am. It's time now for a sports rewind, brought to you by Universal Rewind, reminding you that regular motor maintenance will prevent costly downtime. Contact them today to learn more about their motor maintenance services. Choose experience, expertise, and quality. Choose Universal Rewind. In the NHL, the Islanders took down the Capitals with a Dylan Strome goal in overtime, 3-2. The Jets stay hot and take down the Red Wings with a final of 5-2. And the Kraken take down the Kings as the game winner comes from one Jordan Eberle. They take it down 2-1. In the NBA, the Raptors fall to the 2022 champs. Despite Scotty Barnes pouring in 30 points, they lose 113-104. The LA Clippers pull away late. This was a great game. I was watching the whole thing. It was back and forth, back and forth.
Love it.
Clippers pull away late in their contest against the Mavericks. Former Raptor Kawhi Leonard with 30 points as the Clippers take it down 120-111. Week 16 in the NFL kicks off tonight with the Saints visiting the Rams. Also, as we discussed earlier, Jets QB Aaron Rodgers has been activated off the IR.
I
but
guess.
he will not play this season. No way. Get out. Tonight, the Oilers look to snap their 3-game losing streak when they visit the New Jersey Devils. My main man, Tommy Gazzola, Big Matt Cassian, and Filthy Moustache YouTube Trev will get you set for tonight's tilt with the Oil Stream pregame show at 4 p.m. right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. This sports update has been brought to you by Universal Rewind. Universal Rewind is your leader for electric motors. Contact Universal Rewind to have them properly maintain your motors. Once again, choose experience, expertise, and quality. Choose Universal Rewind. That's my buddy, Brad Eves.
Yeah?
Yeah, we went to high school together.
No way.
Yeah.
You know everybody.
I'm Jay Milne, and you're up to date.
Look at that.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, he did it.
I got a conch for Jay Milne with his first. Well, yeah, is that okay? With his first Universal or Sports Rewind? Yeah. Out of me, buddy. You crushed it.
Thank you.
Jay Milne, his first sports update doing the Universal Rewind thing. Well done, sir. You're going to be doing those the rest of the morning. Add into your lineup, we have to get to I Got Beef, I believe, later.
Done.
And that we'll do at around 7:30. And that's brought to you, of course, by our good friends Acme Meats, Corey the Butcher, all that good stuff. We'll get to I Got Beef. And you have any beef out there heading into the holiday season, hit us up, 780-218-9999, the Paris Jewelers inbox, or via the nasty chat. We want to make this show today as interactive as possible. That's the first hour, Jay. We have Jamie McLennan coming up right away here. Noodles stopping by shortly. YouTube Trev will get him going. And, so an hour done. We only have 2 to go. This show is
Feeling hot. Ready to
quicker,
go.
much quicker than it used to be when it was a 4-hour show. So it moves fast. What did you think?
T-Mac, the rugby guy, comes in and he answers our question as to who Mary is. Mary's the hot sales lady in Christmas Vacation, is what he's saying.
Is she?
I don't know about that. Is that?
What's the young girl? Is there not the one that and I know it's not Audrey.
No.
Audrey was at that point played
right, like
by
Mary's cousin Eddie's
daughter.
little girl, who doesn't know what Christmas is because they can't afford gifts.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now in Vegas Vacation, I know that the running gag is because there's so many actors and actresses played Rusty and Audrey that in each movie, whenever he sees, there's like that one line where Clark will be like, "I hardly recognize you."
Yeah, that is kind of the downfall of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, but wasn't there like contract disputes because they didn't think that the first one was going to be as
popular as it was. But they got the same 2 kids in the second one. Oh, no, they didn't. It was a new Rusty.
That's right.
Was it? And a new Audrey, too.
New Audrey.
Okay. And then what was the next vacation after European Vacation? It was Christmas Vacation, I think. I think it was. And then there was Vegas Vacation. Then they did a vacation where Ed Helms played Rusty and Christina Applegate was Audrey, I think. No. No, Christina Applegate was Rusty's wife.
Okay.
And then what's her name was Audrey.
Are you a Vegas Vacation guy or
I love
Christmas
Vegas Vacation
guy? Me too.
Yeah.
I think the plot is just so intense. There's so many things going on. Because, That's right. Rusty in Vegas Vacation was the kid that went on that spree.
Nick Papagiorgio.
Nick Papagiorgio.
From Yuma.
from Yuma.
No corrective lenses tonight, Mr. Papagiorgio? No, I do not require them. Have a nice night.
Oh, gosh.
Put $1 in, I want a car. Put $1 in, I want a car. Put $1 in, I want a car. Put $1 in, I want a car.
I must say, though, that is a little bit of a what do you call it? I'm having a brain fart.
What?
Tradition in our house is that we watch Christmas Vacation on Christmas Eve. And it's on in the background-ish.
You just put it on or it's on TV. And
it's a little dicey, though, because there is that one spot where it's the backyard scene where the attractive lady is there jumping off the diving board with cousin Eddie. Remember when he's daydreaming?
Yeah.
You know, Anna.
Yeah.
That part.
Is that Christy Brinkley?
I think so, because she's kind of commonplace in that in those movies, right? Where because she was in Vegas Vacation, or no, she was, and she was in the other one when they were driving cross country too, right?
Yeah, she was in the original. Clark had a thing with her, and then she was in Vegas Vacation.
Yeah,
and then I think they tried to do a scene in the most recent Vacation where Rusty takes his family on a adventure. And there's the hot girl in the Corvette, and
yes.
I don't know if it's. I don't think
Isn't
it's Christy
her?
Brinkley.
I think it is.
It's another. But like a truck kills her or something like that. Like that's
terrible.
Pretty grim. Yeah.
Did you kind of switching?
Sure.
Things here.
Topics.
Did you see that Josh Morrissey puck come up the stick?
You see the hole in his face?
That is. And the dude played last night.
Yeah,
in a
tough
win. That's a hockey guy.
I think he said he will only be doing blue steel from now on when his modeling career continues.
But he didn't even have a cage on, or like a full face mask.
Hockey
guys are a different breed. They are like those kind of hockey guys.
Yeah,
like the Smitties of the world.
Throwback.
And, you get a puck in the face, or you lose a couple teeth. I think it's quite common in hockey to lose teeth, isn't it? Would you say that?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, not in football.
Have you seen Chris Tanev?
Yeah, I guess so.
He has like 6 teeth left. All right, YouTube Trev, what's the status? Does Noodles just hop on?
Yeah, he should be hopping on. I was just checking the link. He's still we're waiting on him, so give it 5 more minutes, I'm guessing.
Sounds good.
He's usually on time, so this is a little weird.
All right, all good. Tell him I'm mad if he doesn't get back to us. I'm kidding. He doesn't care. 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. Of course, big thank you to Popeyes. We are in the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studio here on EST and the Nielson Show. Tom Gazzola, Jay Milne with you, filling in for Dusty and Eric. Eric probably enjoyed the spoils of his birthday yesterday. Dusty, a couple of days with the fam before he is off to Davos to call the Spengler Cup on TSN, Big Daddy Davos, as we like to call him.
Big Daddy Davos.
Big Daddy Davos. And YouTube Trev making sure things run smoothly. If you're wondering where all the music and the sounds are, well, the boys took them with the...
They're in Davos.
They're in Davos. They're on their way to Davos. And Eric has his on his computer. So we're just doing this show straight up today as we take you into the Christmas weekend. Chuck Tastic said hot swimming pool lady is Mary. Ken Texan says, morning, guys. Different actors played Audrey and Rusty in every Vacation film. In the Ed Helms movie, he played Rusty, and Christina Applegate was his wife. No Audrey or cousin Eddie, but Clark and Ellen appear at the end of the film. But what about, Ken, my question for you is, what about when they go visit, and like one of the Hemsworths, the guy that plays Thor, Chris Hemsworth, is in it. I thought that was them visiting Audrey. Was it not? And
is that when they're out in the boonies?
They go to like Texas, and I believe that was Audrey and her husband. That was Hemsworth, and who? It was Leslie Mann who played Audrey. I think. Ken, if I'm wrong, let me know. Let me know.
Yeah, Mary is the sales associate. It's getting confirmed over and over again.
I'm going to look it up. Audrey in new Vacation movie. I'm pretty sure that was, Leslie Mann. So she's in it, but it's only like for a couple of minutes. And there's one scene. I don't know that new vacation. I love Ed Helms. I think he's great, but that vacation movie is kind of forced. There was a great scene with his boys. The youngest boy bullies the oldest son. And then finally, the best part is the oldest son at one point realizes he's bigger than his brother, and he just like pushes him over.
Yes.
And his youngest brother's like, "Why'd you do that?" I was like, memories. Memories.
I guess I'm going to have to be the human timer, too,
Why?
for kind of easy trivia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That won't be annoying.
I'm going to give something away here. It's a secret. We want you to win. The timer's phony. It's not legit. So, all right. Noodles, hopefully on the way soon. He's a no-show? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. I just texted Dusty. See what is.
All right. We'll get that figured out. Dusty's off, man, but I'm just kidding. Jen says, you're right, Tom, about Audrey. Larry Texan says, will Rodrigue get a start in the NHL this year? He is obviously on fire in the AHL. Olivier Rodrigue with the win for the Bakersfield Condors last night. So he continues to play well. I don't know if he'll get a start. I don't think he'll get an NHL start unless there's some injuries. All of a sudden, though, he's looking like a prospect. Good kid, too. His
Amazing
dad,
how that happens.
great dad, great family. Olivier Rodrigue, big win for the Condors last night. Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. If you want to get in any holiday traditions that your family has that might be a little odd to others, let us know. We want to hear from you. Noodles is supposed to be coming up. YouTube Trev seems flustered.
Yeah, I don't know what to do. This is the first time this has ever happened, so.
He no-showed.
Well, he probably came on here and was like, what the hell's going on? Who are these two?
He didn't even come on because we can see him on our monitor. Me and Noodles are tight. We get along very well.
I don't know.
Should I send him another link? Is that the play?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see what he does. I have a Noodles story.
Tommy, you tell me your noodles story.
Jamie McLennan, Edmonton guy, great guy. I'm sure he's still got a ton of friends here because he's that good of a guy. I remember when I was working at Costco way back in the day. It was my first year there before I got into the tire center.
Mm-hmm. So you got promoted to the tire center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's call it that.
Let's call it that.
He was coming through the checkout, and it was the lockout 0405. And I'm like, it was summer. And I'm like, do you think there's going to be a lockout? Because I recognized him, right? And he's like, I don't know, buddy. Like, it doesn't sound good. And I was like, well, I hope you guys play. And he goes, well, yeah, so do I. And I said, well, if you don't, are you going to Europe? He goes, we'll see, pal. There you go. See you later, kid. And I was like, that guy's so nice. That guy's so nice. And then, you get into the business a few years later. You get to meet him and chat with him and then see him in the press box and talk with him a little bit. And then the last time he was in town, Jamie came over and we started chatting. We were having a really good conversation. And I don't think it was necessarily like Oilers related. It was just a chat, like getting to know each other, like because it was a one-on-one, not on the air. And Bob Stauffer stops by it, and he's like, well, 1989, this is what happened. You would remember that, Jamie. And I'll be like, it was like, stuff. Hello, first of all. Leave us alone, dude. Leave us alone. And then Bob makes this one joke about me when I used to work for the dude. You know what we used to call him on the road, right? And
God.
And then he says the nickname, and then he's like, well, okay, see you guys later. I gotta go back to work. I'm like, Stuff. Come on. And I looked at Jamie, and I'm like, that's Bob. As he knows.
God bless Bobby.
God bless Bob. He's a good.
Can't help himself.
Future EST guest.
Yeah?
Future EST regular, Bob Stauffer.
Bobby and I go way back.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
U of A.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell me about this.
He called the Bears games when I was playing at U of A, and that's when he was not Bob Stauffer as we know Bob Stauffer now. He was CJSR Bob Stauffer that was working full time doing broadcasting at the university, and he would come on road trips with us. He would ride on the bus. He was a hoot.
I think he has a ring.
He would not have a ring from football. He'd have a ring from the Golden Bears hockey, maybe two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But good guy. A wealth of knowledge. Holy smokes. I'm a big Bob Stauffer guy. Did you see?
He's a good friend of mine.
Somebody memed him with the who's the guy from King of Queens? You know the King of Queens meme?
Yeah, Kevin James.
Kevin James. He got memed with that. I think it was after the Oilers loss. Yeah. Hey, can I tell you a stat?
Yes.
I got this from another good friend of ours, Reed Wilkins.
I love Reed.
Yeah, love Reed. He's a beauty.
He is.
He posted this on Twitter. The Oilers' last 21 games. Mm-hmm. Lose 4, win 3. Lose 3, win 8. Lose 3. Now here we are.
Okay.
Does that mean we're on the cusp of a tear?
I don't know. These are tough games coming up. New Jersey's not an easy building to play on. They should be better than their record shows this year. They have a lot of great players.
When you look at this, that means they're streaky. Might be whether it's streaky bad or streaky good. Who knows? Maybe you could turn around. I don't know. Do you think they're going to make the playoffs, Tom?
I do. I actually do. But
that's very optimistic at this point.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think
safe to say.
No, I don't. It is optimistic, but I don't think it's being like super optimistic. I just think they're better than what the record shows. They had a terrible start. They had a wake-up call with the coaching change. The 8-game winning streak reminded us that they are still capable of playing well. This 3-game slide, they didn't play good against the Panthers. They should have won against Tampa, but they let that slip away. Yes, Stuart Skinner let in some bad goals. I fully acknowledge that. The game on Long Island, that was a special teams battle that they lost. They pooched that one on the special teams. They blew a 5-on-3. That was an extended 5-on-3. They gave up a shorty, and their penalty kill let them down. And they only got 1 goal on a really good goalie in Ilya Sorokin. I think that they can bounce back. I think that overall, and Jay, here's the thing, is like, we look at the standings. I do this too, and you go, oh boy, you only have 50 some odd games left. It's going to be tough. The answer to that is, yeah, it will be tough, but it's not impossible. You start winning 6 of 10, 7 of 10, and you do that in a 40-game stretch, you're right there. And keep it myopic. Just focus on the next game,
I know, but that was the thought last week.
It has to stay the same.
But, I mean, some stranger comes in on a nasty chat and says they were 1 point out of a wild card spot like 1.5 weeks ago. Now they're 7 again.
Yeah, but they also had a 5-day stretch with no games where teams had played and they accumulated some games in hand. It's going to come down to Western Conference games. Every one of those games is going to be a 4-pointer.
Yeah.
Basically for the rest of the year.
It's going to, it's going to set up for a great stretch. Regardless, right?
They might be a wild card team.
I think that's the only route, but that might be okay. Going that
Just get in the dance.
Going that route as opposed to...
It's a harsh lesson.
It is.
It's a harsh lesson.
Got a lot of people coming in that know Noodles.
Yeah, let's read. Since he's not here for his regular scheduled segment.
Noodles and I grew up in St. Albert and played in Lethbridge together. He is an absolute beauty. Senor Boots, could you please text or call him and say, hey, man, you left us high and dry on Glue Guy's first appearance.
Don't take it personally.
I have no option but to. Looking forward to Tommy's version of Tales of the North. Roland, we got to fill time.
I am not capable of that. I am not capable of that. That is not it's not in my repertoire.
Mary gets back in on the Paris Jewelers inbox. 780-218-9999. Our family has a tradition of a pickle present.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. Don't look at it.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
What do you think it means to have a pickle present?
Honestly, I don't have a clue. No idea, Jay.
Anyone who finds the hidden pickle ornament gets the gift. It's something weird or cool, like an airplane piloting lesson or $100 or steak for a year.
What?
Twitter Mary. Yeah. Sounds like
Twitter Mary. Oh, hey, Mary.
Sounds like that's the prize they give out.
That's pretty
it's
cool.
It's like a cool prize, like airplane piloting.
You went flying. How did that happen? That was what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, right around 2 weeks ago. Good old buddy of mine that I bartended with. He's in flight school.
Yeah.
And he just got his I don't know. He passed this test, so he can he can have someone join him on his flights now. So that's pretty sweet. And that was his first. You're
the N1.
Yes, yeah. It was so sweet, man. We went for about an hour, just cruising over the city.
What's it like up there?
It was sweet, man. Just over 4,000 feet above sea level. So it was like 2,000 feet, like above just the land here in Edmonton. It was great, man. It was honestly, I hate flying. I've always hated flying, but so smooth. I couldn't get over. No turbulence. That's usually what does it for me. And it was just a smooth trip. I couldn't get over the views. It was sweet seeing downtown. Commonwealth, Rodgers Place, all of it. It was just unreal. And first of many, he said. So I can't wait for that.
Does he own the plane?
No.
And how does he have to book?
Yeah.
A takeoff.
Yeah.
And a landing.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's weird because we suck at bartending. We really do. We both can, we're like, what's in this drink? I don't know, open the book and all that. And I'm like, dude, how do you fly a plane? It's so weird. It's so weird.
Does he fly it well?
Yeah, man. I was blown away. It was a lot of fun, but I couldn't get over it, man.
That's pretty neat.
That might have to get surveyor breaded. We suck at bartending, but we can sure fly a plane.
Yeah.
That sounds like something right up Surveyor Brett's alley.
Did you ever want to break out into... Can you take me higher?
Okay, that was really good. That was awesome.
He was the lead singer in a band.
Because we can't have real music on the show. Maybe that could be my role. I could just come in and do me and Lucas can get on it and make some jam.
Well, he's sleeping in here, Lucas.
Oh, sorry.
With the rest of the band. Yeah, keep it down.
Okay. Well, yeah, Bonnie Doon Ron says, take a poll to see what the fans think. If the Oilers will or will not make the playoffs.
Okay, I can do that.
Throw it up on the chat.
Yeah, let's do it.
See what they say.
Sure. Well, okay.
Hey, Tommy, there's a lot of optimism on the chat as well.
There should be. The season's not over. I think they're going to be okay. I think they're going to make the playoffs. Then if they make it, when they make it, who knows what happens. But it's been a frustrating season. And I remember last year, too, they weren't in, the sweetest spot around this time of year. They were okay. I think they were better off than where they're at now. But, it was the stretch. They even stumbled a bit coming out of the All-Star break. I remember that. Remember our good friend Bob went on a tangent in the intermission against the Philadelphia Flyers?
Bob? No.
Yeah.
I didn't think he's capable.
He was a hot tamale when he finished that hit. I ran into him in the press box. He's like, I did it. I really did it. I'm like, yeah, I heard. I'm getting texts from people that haven't texted me in a while saying, did you hear what Bob said? I'm like, no, I'm not watching the broadcast. I'm at the game. And he's like, well, I might be in trouble. And I was like, Bob, you do you, man. You do you.
He is a national treasure.
He's a passionate man.
He is.
He's a passionate man. Okay. No noodles today. Jay Milne took it personally. That segment was brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. And check out proamsports.ca. Shop NFL sideline headwear from New Era and throwback jerseys from Mitchell and Ness. They've got both Sanders, Barry, and Coach Prime. Visit Pro-Am in Edmonton on St. Albert Trail, 1 block north of the Yellowhead, or online at proamsports.ca. Of course, Pro-Am, your source for the Oilers Heritage Classic jersey. Ken and Jack from Pro-Am have told me that the Heritage Classic gear has been flying off the shelves all year long, and once it's gone, it's gone. There's no hey, it's going to be continually made. So, also tell them Dusty the Elf sent you. Pro-Am Sports.
There's the poll.
What's the poll?
Poll's up. Will the Oilers make the playoffs? Ooh, a lot of homers here. Not surprised. Rusty Shackelford says a few thousand feet is not as high as the 25th floor of the Wanix Place.
The palatial 25th floor suite. This place is nice. It's in my building. It's nice,
Well, yeah.
Nice spot.
Do you want to say the name of the building and the exact address?
No. People can figure it out themselves. I see enough nasty chat people or people from the nasty chat and listeners and viewers on my walk from the rink to the home studio, and they can put it together. Actually, there was, I can't remember, was it Justin wearing an EST hat as I was going down the escalator at Rodgers Place from Fort Hall to go through on my walk home. And I chatted with the guy, him and his buddy, and he was wearing his EST hat. And I was like, oh, that is a great hat. Well done, well done. And then I was like, well, see you guys later. Cross the street, get into my building, wait for the elevator, and they come into the building too. I was like, oh, you guys live here too? And no, just one of them did. But, yeah.
I was going to wear a hat today, but then
Nah,
I
not
realized
necessary.
that Tommy always has his hair done so nicely that it would kind of look
Thank you.
awkward.
Thank you. I try.
Dusty and Eric used to come in here hot and bothered.
But for them, it's a statement. It's a style statement. Like Eric will wear, I think he had the
Saskatoon
Berries hat the other day.
Yeah.
He was wearing a Baltimore Stallions hat the other day.
Great hat collection.
He has a vintage Anaheim or California Angels hat that he wears, I think, mostly in the summer. He has a couple of different Edmonton Riverhawks hats. He's a big-time Riverhawks supporter. Eric, obviously a noted Seattle Mariners fan, too. So for him, it's a statement. Dusty may be just a little bit lazy. Although he's been wearing the new Cool Bet hats, which are awesome.
Those hats are straight good.
They're fire.
I really like
I'll be wearing those on the golf course. They're sharp. I didn't really like the hats with the string across the brim. But in that hat,
you do now though with those hats.
That hat I like, but remember the '90s? Those ones I was like, I didn't like that. It was very
when
frustrating.
they were popular before, they weren't as cool as they are now. That we rebranded them.
Yes, and
I think it made them cool.
The design of them has improved as well. Okay, we do have to do I Got Beef, and then we're gonna get to Ian Rapoport, talk a little NFL. If you have any questions, hit us up. 780-218-9999, Paris Jewelers inbox. Keep those stories coming in, family traditions during the holiday season. We'll read those out as we scoot along here on the Nielson Show. And we do have kind of easy trivia coming up. We do want to give away that $25 GC to Mr. Mike's, as well as 3 questions too many, brought to you by Park Mazda. Fire some questions our way if you want to know more about Jay Milne, the EST glue guy. It's his debut on the Nielson Show. So if you want to get to know Jay a little bit, fire some questions our way. We will note those and we will add them in.
Open book.
Yeah, 3 questions too many. If you have any for YouTube, Trev, or just any questions in general, send them to us as we move along on this edition of the Nielson Show. Coming up at 7:40, we do have Ian Rapoport to talk NFL. Jay Milne, a sports update. You ready for this?
I was born ready, Tom.
All right, buddy.
I was born ready. This sports update is brought to you by Park Mazda. The staff of Park Mazda and Mitch Lewicki. Would he rather be feared or loved? Easy. Both. He wants people to be afraid of how much they love him. In the NHL, the Islanders took down the Capitals with an overtime goal from Dylan Strome. They take that game 3-2. The Winnipeg Jets stay hot and stay in the top of their division and take down the Red Wings 5-2. And the Kraken take down the Kings with a game winner from our dear Jordan Eberle 2-1. The Raptors fall to the 2022 NBA champions despite Scotty Barnes scoring in 30 points. They lose 113-104. And the Clippers, with the strength of 30 points from Kawhi Leonard, pull away late in the contest and take down the Mavericks 120-111. Week 16 in the NFL kicks off with a barn burner. The Saints visiting the Rams. Oh, that's
really
a terrible game. Also, in big news, Jets QB Aaron Rodgers has been activated off the IR, but he will not play this season, so that means nothing. Tonight, the Oilers look to snap their 3-game losing streak and go on a heater. Calling it. Starts tonight when they visit the New Jersey Devils. Tommy Gazzola, Matt Cassian, and YouTube Trev will get you set for tonight's tilt with the Oil Stream pregame show at 4 p.m. right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. This sports update has been brought to you by Park Mazda. I'm Jay Milne. and you're up to date.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances to my life's journey.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Welcome back. You're listening and watching the Nielson Show here at Edmonton Sports Talk. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, we appreciate it. As always, hit up the nasty chat. And if you're also driving to work, maybe you still have to work today, or you're just listening at home on the TuneIn app, we appreciate that as well. Or via our audio stream on EdmontonSportsTalk.com. You can text us, Paris Jewelers Inbox 780-218-9999. Tom Gazzola, Jay Milne, and YouTube Trev inside the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studios here on the west side of the city. And, of course, our good friends at Popeyes, a great sponsor for basically ever. And joined us early on. I think they were one of the first when we came over to EST and created it. You can enjoy 5 flavors of wings now available: signature hot, honey garlic, honey barbecue, garlic parm, and ghost pepper. $9.99 for 6 wings. You can get them on DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, and Uber Eats. My favorite, probably the honey barbecue. Get a little bit of the blackened ranch on there.
Oh, I love
Chef's
the Black
kiss.
and Ranch.
Chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss.
You did like when we had them for the EST watch party. Remember the Oilers Caps afternoon game?
I do.
You tried the ghost pepper. They were not as hot as I thought they were going to be.
The hot was hotter than the ghost pepper.
The signature hot, yeah.
Yeah.
The honey garlic's always good. It's like a staple.
I like
garlic
honey
parm, I wasn't sure about. I had one. I really like that. I'm worried about the parm and the garlic. That delicious combination is bad for your breath, though.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's go. What's
Check
your
'em
beef?
Time now for I Got Beef. Brought to you by Acme Meats. I got beef. Eat fresh. Eat local. Eat Acme. I saw Corey the Butcher. Did you notice? I'm going to bring this up, and it's Corey the Butcher. You know those little...
Yeah, I knew this was coming.
You have no idea what I'm going to say.
I do. They're like little miniature
The toy.
anime bobbleheads.
Oh, yeah. So Corey the Butcher and I think Yaremchuk, and I saw some others like on Instagram. Everybody had them.
It's
I was
like you
like, I
can
wanna
go to
get
this
that.
site and you
Yeah.
can upload a picture of yourself, and then it puts it on this little anime bobblehead. And yeah.
But that's not my beef. I think that's pretty cool. The
I think
anime
it's cool.
bobblehead, right? What are those toys called? They have a name. Anyway, whatever. I got beef with like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, like those, you know, those like flash in the pan, like the videos, and it annoys me. Like, hey guys, here's my OOTD. Here's my outfit of the day. I got beef with this stuff. It's so annoying. Who gives a crap? Who gives a crap what your OOTD is or get ready with me? It's so annoying. I got beef with that. Now, on the flip side, a cool like action figure that has you and it's like custom made, that's kind of neat. I actually have time for that, but I got beef with like the trend videos where it's like, come with me on here's my day. And
Yeah.
I got beef with those.
Yeah. They seem to be getting more and more annoying and more Funko Pops. Thanks, Pat
Funko
McCanny.
Pop, yeah. Those are that's cool.
Yeah.
But it reminded me.
No beef, just for the record, with Funko
Not
Pop.
with the Funko Pop and like the custom made Funko Pop via that website, but I got beef with the trends of like, what's the one that really grinds my gears? The OOTDs, the Get Ready With Me's, and like lip syncing songs really bother me.
Right.
I'm so annoyed by that. Like, why are you lip syncing the damn song? What's the point of this?
Especially when they just are terrible too.
Oh!
Like the audacity to upload that and then it's not even close.
Right.
Like just give your head a shake. Yeah, that's very embarrassing.
That is what I have. I just need to get this off my chest because I go down Instagram story holes. I go down TikTok, get stuck in the TikTok loop. But I see all these posts and it's you lip syncing a song or doing a dance to it. Get out of here with that noise. Get creative.
I'm so bad at Instagram.
That's my beef.
The gram, as the kids call it, you know?
I love Instagram.
I got beef.
What do you got beef with?
I got beef with Noodles. I got beef with Jamie McLennan.
Ouch.
You know?
Yeah, I hear
My debut.
Your debut.
I had questions prepared,
I know you did.
buddy.
I know you did.
And you steal that moment? How dare you? I got beef.
Ouch.
YTT.
YouTube Trev, what do you got?
Beef? Yeah, I don't I don't hate escalators. I hate when people just stand in them and do nothing.
That's the worst.
That
Okay,
blows
hang on.
my mind.
Are you walk up the escalator?
Yes.
Me too.
Like, get out of my way.
Or at least stand to the right. Like
It's
if you've got your kids with you and you don't want to, because for kids escalators are like a totally different world, right? Here
Yeah.
are these moving staircases that look like shark's teeth, so it's a little bit intimidating. I get it. Move to the right. You know,
Make way
Go to the
or
right.
something.
Let us. You know, when I was over in London, and you go on the tube, and if you're going up those massive escalators, like 3-4 stories deep, and you are not on the right side, you hear about it, and you pretty much get told to get to the right side.
Get out of the way.
I don't know if it's left or right. I forget what it is there, but you get the point. It's very faux pas. That's great. I got beef with that too.
Yeah.
Especially with the holiday
Christmas
traffic
right now. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's time.
Move.
Yeah, get out of my way. Get out.
Get
Yeah,
out.
exactly. I'm blown away. People are just so content just like standing there, and they're not fast. They're slow.
No.
So I'm having a hard time adjusting to that. Being in the city, and then also I was at McDonald's the other day. I had a girl, the drive-through lady, ask me not once, not twice, but 3 times if I wanted a bag, and each time I said yes, please. Yeah, I'll take a bag. And then the 3rd time I was like, yes, I will still take that bag. My mind hasn't changed. And all of a sudden she gives me my food with no bag. And I kind of laughed at it later in the day, but I'm like, what are we doing here?
Linda, listen. Linda.
I was like, oh, okay, well, thanks for the bag. And I just drove off. I was ticked, man. I really was. But then later in the day, I was like, okay, it's kind of funny. But 3 times? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, just give me the damn bag.
Yeah.
It's a paper
And by
bag.
the way, like, do you want that bag? Yes.
Yes.
I haven't changed my mind. I still want it. And she just gives me my burger. And I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm out.
You know what's funny is I remember.
I don't know if we should get into this.
Well, we're going there, man. We've
All
got
right,
beef, all right?
Screw it. I got beef with this bag ban too.
Well,
What the hell are we doing? You say I don't want a little paper bag, and I get the premise. Okay, yeah, we're saving the earth one bag at a time, and then they give you all this stuff wrapped in paper, anyways. Like the funniest thing, and as you can tell, I don't eat much fast food, clearly, but
no.
the funniest thing
No,
is
you
when they give you the little. They come out to the to the drive-through window with this little tray. And they stick the little tray out into your window, and you just grab your fries or whatever you have off of it.
Yeah.
In Strathcona County, it's not a thing.
Okay.
You get paper bags there, no problem.
But not in the city.
Not in the city. It's only a City of Edmonton thing. Yeah, suck on that. How does that work?
Through a plastic straw or a biodegradable straw, by the way?
Those paper straws got to go. Those are problematic.
Oh,
Okay, hang on. You're telling me that my kids cannot have the joy, the overwhelming joy and rush of emotions when you have a Slurpee with a spoon on the end of the straw?
Classic.
Classic. Now you can't get halfway through a damn Slurpee without this paper thing dissolving in your Slurpee. All right, I'm ranting now, but
No, well done.
that's my beef.
I got beef, man. I got beef for
That's the
Acme
straight
Meats.
goods.
Eat
That's
fresh,
the straight
eat local,
goods.
eat Acme. That felt good. That felt really good. I needed to get that off my chest. I hate social media influencers. They suck. They're the worst. What do? I'm an influencer. No, you're not. You're an idiot.
Oh, nothing's worse than when you, like, somebody actually says that to you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'm an influencer. Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Who do you influence? Because I didn't know you were an
I have like
influencer.
130,000 followers. What do? Makeup. Oh,
Gosh.
one of those.
One of those.
But now, say, because this is an extended version of I Got Beef right now. We do have
We're
Ian
laying her
Rapoport
down,
coming.
boys. We
Yeah.
may not be here by when in New Year comes around, but
Oh,
we're laying
boy.
her down.
But say, you hear people go, or say, I can't stand influencers. I think it's stupid and this and that. People go, do you know how much money they make? Yes, some of them. Some of them do. Not all. Like, the people that try to become influencers and they're like, I'm a content creator. Okay, what do you make content? I was in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho for the summer, or for a week in the summer. And there was this guy by the lake at like 7 a.m, and he set up his camera on a public trash can, and he's like talking into it with his hands, and he like walks away, and he turns around, and he goes back to the camera, and he's like this, and he grabs it, and he's going like this. I'm like, this is the worst. I hate this guy. Probably a nice guy, but I've watched him do this for the last 2 minutes, and he looks like a moron. Influencer. Content creator. I Got Beef, brought to you by Acme Meats. I'm sorry. I just needed to get that off.
Hot take Kev coming in.
What's he saying?
Preach, glue guy. Preach.
Yeah.
Preach, brother.
Yeah.
Yell it from the rooftops.
I love it.
I'm getting it all over on
Anybody got beef out there? Let us know. 780-218-9999.
If Rapoport bails on us, we could always do an airing of grievances.
Oh, that
came
would
in.
be a grievance that needs to be aired. You know what I got beef with, too?
What's
Our
that?
Wi-Fi in here sucks today.
I don't really use Wi-Fi anymore. I know.
Yeah, YouTube chat.
I know YTT does, but it's like
Yeah.
it's
There we go.
it is what it is. I got some bangers to ask. If you guys have anything that you want us to ask, one of the major figures in NFL football, in Ian Rapoport, chime on in. I'll ask him. I will. As many as I can. I got one already. I forget who it was. But I got that Christian McCaffrey question.
All right, great. We're good to go. YouTube, Trev. All right. It's the Nielson Show here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Tom Gazzola in for Dusty. The EST glue guy, Jay Milne, in for Lieutenant Eric. YouTube, Trev, holding things down in the control room over there as we roll along. Heading into the Christmas weekend. Ian Rapoport joining us now, NFL Network Insider. Ian, good morning. Always good to catch up with you. We're talking about the Aaron Rodgers stuff. I know that's been a hot topic, but he gets activated to the 53-man roster for the last 3 games of the season. Obviously confirmed he won't be playing. What do you make of this move, and what do you make of the way Rodgers seems to find a way to stay in the limelight? And granted, he is a superstar in this league, but I find it kind of interesting the way this has all been handled and the way it's unfolded. What's your take on it?
I mean, are you wondering if it is just a publicity stunt?
Kind of. Yeah.
Okay. So you're obviously not alone. I think other people are probably thinking the same. I don't think so. I truly don't. Now, none of us will ever know. We are not in Aaron Rodgers' brain, and honestly, there's no way to know.
Mm-hmm.
But I will just say this. Aaron Rodgers feels terrible. And I think there is a big part of him that really does feel like he let the team down. He got injured. It's no one's fault. But because of his injury, everything that the Jets tried to do this year, they now can't do. Right? Like all the trades and moves and the contracts and the signings and everything, like it all doesn't matter because Aaron Rodgers got injured 4 plays into the season. And so I think, he really feels a certain way about that.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that he can sort of make this right was to try like crazy and try to come back. Now, the team didn't do its part. The team lost. I really believe that if the Jets were viable this week, let's say they had a 25% chance of making the playoffs, let's just say, pick a number, then I really think that there's a real chance that Aaron Rodgers would be out there. With them having no chance, that's why he said, I'm a couple weeks away. If there was a chance, if it was real, then I think he would have been like, I'm not close to ready, but I'm at no further risk to myself so I'm going to be out on the field. And I think that's kind of, to me, where it all breaks down, is that if there was a better chance in the playoffs, he would be playing. And it's like, okay, well, why doesn't he just go away? Well, I think mainly it helps the other guys to see him out there, right? I mean, yes, there's a fullback who had to get cut for Aaron Rodgers to get on the 53. My guess is they'll put him on the practice squad, elevate him, he'll get the same money, it'll be fine, right? But I do think it's meaningful for him to be out practicing with the guys.
Okay, another quarterback kind of making waves with some comments in a different way was Jalen Hurts. He kind of raised some eyebrows after that last-minute loss to Seattle on Monday, and he said his team wasn't committed enough. And I'm listening to that press conference, Ian, and I'm thinking to myself, he's mad, obviously frustrated the way the game ended, and it goes down. Emotions get to you, and I think he was probably searching for the right words, but you see Jason Kelce making comments on his podcast to kind of smooth things over. But besides the fact that Kelce's being a good leader and trying to smooth things over, he blamed himself for taking the penalty when he moved the ball. Hurts saying what he said post-game, and, the media, as we do, we could take things out of context. Sometimes we go down our own paths and interpret things that are said by players our own way. Regardless of that, do you think that Hurts, with his post-game comments, did ruffle some feathers inside that Eagles locker room, or do you think it's all good there?
Probably ruffled some feathers, but that's okay. He is a leader. He is one of the real leaders on the team, in the league, all of that, and I think it's allowed. And if Jalen Hurts says the team isn't committed because of the commitment that he gives and he shows, I would say he's allowed. Yeah, I would think a lot of guys took it and didn't feel happy about it. Said, that's ridiculous. I'm upset that he says it. On the other hand, they've lost 3 in a row, and things have to change, and things have to get better. And so, I would say it's a little of both. Like, Jalen Hurts is extremely savvy. He has been around. He has been through it. He's been on multiple college teams. He's been a leader of the Eagles. He knows. When he says something like that, he knows. So I would say it's really like, he said it, okay, how is everyone going to respond to his comments? And, if they take it personal, okay, but then you got to, put it on the field and show that he was wrong. I think that's probably the next step for them.
Ian, I got a question in regards to the MVP race. Is this not Christian McCaffrey's to take? I mean, the numbers he's putting up is staggering. Now, unfortunately, the way that this breaks down, it doesn't seem like the value of a running back is as high as it is as some of the quarterbacks going into the MVP race. What are your thoughts on that?
He's a running back. So, is he the most valuable player to his team? I would say based on his production and based on the way they absolutely took off when they traded for him last year and they've continued to take off this year, he certainly has among the highest values of any player on his team. But he is a running back. And the way today's NFL is, I just don't know that it's realistic that any running back is going to get the MVP. I just don't see it. I would be very, very surprised. So it's like, all these awards have sort of become quarterback awards and then others. So it's like the MVP is a quarterback award. So to me, it's like, who's the best quarterback? Because the quarterback's the most valuable position. So I get it. Definitely a huge fan of McCaffrey. He is awesome, but I do not think he'll ever win it, no.
So following up on that, if it is a quarterback-driven award, who do you think's winning it this year?
I think for a while, a lot of people thought it was going to be Hurts, and people thought it was going to be Dak. I would say, to me, Lamar has been steadily awesome for one of the NFL's best teams. I think Purdy, a lot of people talk about him being an MVP, but I do think there's still plenty of people out there who go, well, yeah, but he's got that system. He's got Kyle Shanahan. He's got those weapons. He's got the great offensive line. It's like, you can, if you wanted to pick holes in this sort of candidacy, you could do it. So I do think that's, I do think there's some of that where people say, well, yeah, but with Brock Purdy. So my guess, without truly knowing, because nobody knows, is that it ends up being Lamar Jackson. And, if that's the case, then I would say it's pretty well deserved because he's a very good football player.
Speaking of Lamar, and I agree. I think Lamar is very valuable in that team sense, not only offensively, but to the value of that team and how far it can go. That being said, the Ravens, are they a legitimate contender to come out of the AFC, given that they don't have the best? I guess what I'm trying to say is they're up and down. But I believe they're the number one team in the AFC right now. Do you think that they're going to take a playoff run?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're up and down. I mean, to me, the Ravens are just up. You know, like, they are good. They are talented. They've been injured a little bit, but every injury they bounced back from and been good. Like, I think they're good. And I think there has been a lot of up and down. And they are among the teams that just kind of rides it. You know, like, every injury they have, every little thing, like, it's not always pretty. You know, it's not always like what you would draw in a picture, but all the results are all the same, you know? So to me, like, this is a premier team. I think they are awesome. And yeah, I mean, to me, like, you know, this weekend we'll get 49ers Ravens. Like, this might be a Super Bowl preview, you know? And if that's the case, I think that would be fine.
Ian Rapoport joining us now, national insider for NHL Network and NFL.com, and the rumor mill churning as it always.
NHL Network. Did you hear that?
Did I say NHL?
Wow.
No, NFL Network.
God, that's so Canada. Wow.
Ian, I am
you've ever said.
I'm an NHL Network correspondent, and that must be subconsciously why I said NFL Network. My bad, Ian. My bad. That's all.
Just funny to hear. I love it. Go Canada.
You know what? They would love you on NHL Network. Anyway,
I don't know anything about hockey. That would be my only issue, but
that's okay.
That's not true. My 10-year-old plays hockey. I'm learning as we go. But go ahead.
All right.
Has he scored a Michigan goal?
Well, he doesn't know hockey. He doesn't know what that is.
You would know the Michigan. You know
the Michigan.
Michigan goal, is that where the crazy goal where you put it on the stick?
Yes.
Yeah.
On a blade?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. He hasn't scored any goals. But he does know how to skate backwards really well now, so that's good.
That's a great skill. Okay, NFL Network insider, and there we go. Sorry, and my bad. With the rumor mill churning like it tends to do, even though the season's still going and we have a few weeks to go here, we saw the coaching change with the Chargers. Brandon Staley's out. And we're already talking about who might be the next guy. I know I asked you about Belichick and facilitating his own trade or where he's going to go next. And I think that was a month and a half ago. But what's going on there? Who can help this Chargers team and Justin Herbert finally kind of reach that next level?
You know, I think what always happens in these coaching searches is everyone starts and they go, all right, who are the biggest names? And it's like, well, this year it's like Belichick, like Harbaugh. It's like, you know, all of the sort of, you know, splashy names. Last year was Sean Payton and he's gone. So it's like you start there, and, you know, I don't know. Like, most of those big names are not as realistic as you think. Like last year, if Sean Payton didn't go to the Broncos, which remember he was their third choice after DeMeco Ryans and after Harbaugh, then he'd still be in the booth, and we'll be talking about him again this year. You know, so like these splashy names are not always the reality. So like, you know, Bill Belichick is 72 years old. I think there's going to be a market, but I don't know that it's going to be like everyone thought. It's like when Tom Brady came out as a free agent, everyone's like, oh my God, Tom Brady, everyone's going to want him. And then you had several teams like the 49ers turned him down and then ended up trading up with Trey Lance, you know?
Right.
Like, it's not going to quite be what you think. I think they'll get some really good candidates and they'll have some really good options. I just don't know that it's going to be like the splashiest of the splashy. And I don't know that they need it. They got a talented roster and a really good quarterback.
I know Herbert has the talent, but where do you think he can take this Chargers team? What do you think might be holding them back? Because I think the stat came out a few weeks ago where basically the offensive output and the total points scored and the total points allowed in his time at QB with the Chargers. And listen, the defensive side of things isn't his fault, but it was pretty much equal. Is this a guy that can achieve and attain the next level and reach that potential and turn the Chargers into a contender? Does he need the right coach, the right system? What's your take on that?
Well, I think so. I really do, but we have not seen it yet. And that's what's been so interesting to me is like Herbert is awesome, but there's not a lot of fourth quarter comebacks. There's not a lot of dramatics. Like this happened I guess it was 3 weeks ago now, where, had the ball with 1:50 to go, and you're like, all right, well, this is Joe Burrow. You're like, this guy's going all the way down to score, and it didn't happen. And I'm like, well, obviously the offensive line hasn't been great this year. That's an issue. But, like, at some point, Herbert's got to take that next step and do it. And I think, whichever coach can kind of, like, unlock that, I think is going to be the one that, finds his team and ends up having success with it.
All right, finally, Ian, we got games tonight. We've got games Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in Week 16.
Games.
Yeah, a lot of games, and that's okay. It's a smorgasbord of football around Christmas, which I think we all can appreciate. But a guy like you, how are you going to split your time between work and family over Christmas? Give us a little take on how you handle that.
Well, my family just left me. They all went to Mississippi to go visit my wife's family. So I am home by myself, so it'll be all football and,
A bachelor Christmas. Wow.
It's not exactly what you draw up for holidays. I wish I could go with the family, but
Right.
It is what it is. I will be all football, and I'll be totally fine.
Well, at least you're going to be at home. Dusty Nielson, Big Daddy Davos, off to Switzerland to call the Spengler Cup. Ian, always a pleasure, sir, to catch up with you. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thanks for the time, as always, and be well, sir.
Awesome. Merry Christmas to you and everyone there, and take care, guys.
That is Ian Rapoport, NFL Network insider, and you can catch him on NFL.com. I must have just dropped the NHL. I'm sorry about that.
I didn't hear that.
My bad. But great stuff there from Ian Rapoport as we
Did
wind
I just
down.
see something?
I have
there?
good news.
What?
Noodles is joining.
Like right now?
In like 2 minutes. His video didn't come through, so I told him to reconnect, but he did.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. How lovely is that?
It's great, but
It's a
we
Christmas
have
miracle.
we have kind of easy trivia and 3 questions to this last hour is going to be jam-packed.
It's going to be jam-packed. We can fit it
Okay,
in.
we'll get
fit
Noodles
it in.
on for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We'll make it work.
Great stuff there from Rapoport. Spending Christmas by himself. Do you want to get to a sports update really quickly?
You know it.
Okay.
Can't wait to get to it. Just got to find it.
Am I throwing a curveball your way?
No. Okay, it's time now for a sports update brought to you by United Sport and Cycle. United Sport and Cycle has been your home of hockey for over 95 years. In the NHL, the Islanders take down the Capitals with a Dylan Strome goal in overtime. They win 3-2. The Jets stay hot and take down the Red Wings with a final of 5-2. And the Kraken take down the Kings with a game winner from our former Oiler and general good guy,
He is a great guy.
Jordan Eberle.
Yep.
They win 2-1. In the NBA, the Raptors fall to the 2022 champs, led by Nikola Jokic. Despite Scotty Barnes pouring in 30 points, they still lose 113-104. And the Clippers pull away late. Great game. That was an exciting game.
That's what you were watching
Against
last
the
night.
Mavericks. Yeah, it was always nice to see Cuban slithering in his seats there. Former Raptor Kawhi Leonard with 30 points as the Clippers win 120-111. And as we just heard from our NFL insider, Ian Rapoport, Week 16 in the NFL kicks off tonight with the Saints visiting the Rams in what is likely to be the worst game of the season. Also, Jets QB Aaron Rodgers has been activated off IR, but he will not play this season. And tonight, finally, the main event. The Oilers look to snap their 3-game losing streak when they visit the New Jersey Devils. Our main man, Tommy Gazzola, Big Matt Cass, and YouTube Trev will get you set for tonight's tilt with the Oil Stream pregame shows showing up right here at 4 p.m. on Edmonton Sports Talk. This sports update has been brought to you by United Sport and Cycle. I'm Jay Milne, ESG glue guy, and you're up to date.
Look at that. You're even doing a radio voice and everything.
Yes, I am, Tom.
All right. Rod Black coming up at 8:20. Hit us up in the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999.
That was a good Rod Black.
Thanks. He's a legend. I
He's a
can't wait to
beautiful-
catch up with him.
I told my wife that we were going to be talking to Rod Black.
Was she excited?
What? Really? Well, yeah.
He was the voice
Legend.
of every sport in this country at some point. Figure skating.
I know.
Did figure skating. Lots of CFL, MLB, NBA.
Indiana.
I'm sure he mixed in
Indiana.
hockey at some point. But, yeah, okay. So Noodles coming up. There he is. Oh, lovely. Good to see him. Let's get to Jamie McLennan now. TSN hockey analyst for Pro-Am Sports. He's our EST insider. And, of course, Pro-Am, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Gift cards available now. They can be used in-store or online, and they never expire. Located in Edmonton at St. Albert Trail and 128th Avenue. Online at proamsports.ca. Tell them Dusty the Elf sent you. Big Daddy Davos away, so Tom Gazzola will play, as well as EST glue guy Jay Milne here on the Nielson Show as Noodles joins us. Hello, Jamie. What's going on? Are you at home or are you on the road right now?
I'm on the death march with the Ottawa Senators right now. So, and I'm going to give a tip to the listeners. Whatever you do, do not take this stuff when you want to go to sleep at night, because will not wake up. Because I'm not lying. I set my alarm to come on the show an hour ago. I slept right through it. Like it was. And I don't sleep through anything. So I've been a little bit under the weather because I've been on this 5-game road trip with the team. And I feel like the Ottawa Senators right now have been run over by a truck. But honestly, it's I'm in Denver. And what could go wrong in Denver when they lost to Chicago the other night and Devon Tays called the team out? So I wonder how things will unfold for the Sens tonight. So it's been a grind. I started with the team in Ottawa last week, and that was the Carolina game after Rod Brindamore had called out his team, and they had lost 4 in a row, and they'd had a closed-door meeting in Vancouver. Then it was on to St. Louis, where they had a coaching change, so you had a new coach bump there. The next night was in Dallas against the top-tier team, and they were up, and they couldn't get a save. And then on to Vegas, and Vegas was a little bit choked that they had lost to Buffalo the game before, so they just rinsed them. So you can see the trend here. And then in Arizona the other day, up 3-0 and lose 4-3. So it's been a battle, but you know what? We'll see what happens tonight.
Jamie, I'm glad you're battling it out and were able to join us. I always appreciate it. Senor Boots, as he goes by in our nasty chat and our text line, says, I played with Jamie in Lethbridge and St. Albert. He is one of the best. They're slagging you, but I was like, no, he's one of the best. He's a great guy. He'll be here. So Senor Boots also had your back there. I don't know if you know Senor Boots by his real name or who we're talking about.
Well, I don't know Senior Boots either, but I mean, if it was a real name, I would probably know. It's probably Lance Burns, guy named Lance Burns that I played with or something like that.
There you go.
Either way, let's talk the Oil. What's going on? I mean, 3 in a row. I'm a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, a lot of people are, and people want to know your opinion on them. I was going to ask you about the Sens, but I guess you already talked about it. We could circle back later, but listen, sure. on the pre and post game show, we will go Oil, Jamie. When I'm doing the post-game show, and especially during this 3-game slide here, a lot of attention on Stuart Skinner. And I know he didn't play the game the other day against Florida, but people were upset about his third period against Tampa, let in a couple of softies, and the Oilers end up blowing a lead in that game against a Lightning team that still has some of the best weapons offensively in the NHL. The other day on the island, he doesn't squeeze one on an Anders Lee garbage goal, basically, on the power play. And then the other two were a 2-on-1 and then a great feed through 2 Oilers sticks to Bo Horvat, who goes bang, bang, top shelf. People here want an upgrade in goal, Jamie. Stuart Skinner is only in his second full NHL season. What's your take on Skinner and the way he's progressing, I suppose?
Well, you just said it. He's only in his second year. They had aspirations, and I still believe they do, to be a cup-winning team. I've said this all along. He's not a number 1. He's a 1A. He's a tandem guy. Mm-hmm. So what you're doing is expecting him to play number 1 minutes, and he's punching above his weight. I know this because once I made it to the NHL and realized the NHL sorts you out. So, I was a starting goaltender at a lot of lower leagues. You get to the NHL, it's like, okay, I'm a backup. Well, let's be the best backup you can be. Mm-hmm. Stuart Skinner, for me, is a tandem guy. But they're asking him, let's play 7 in a row. And what could go wrong? Well, what happens is when you have to play it's like a six defenseman that plays top 4 minutes. Eventually, you get exposed.
True.
So they need somebody to play with him. Like, that's the problem, is they need somebody. They thought that was going to be Jack Campbell. I liked originally the thought process was you get a veteran guy to play with a young guy, and both of them can battle for the net. And if the young guy pushes through, great. Vasilevsky pushed Ben Bishop out but it was Ben Bishop there in Tampa.
Yes.
Stuart Skinner is not Vasilevsky. His lateral movement, I think he's a good goaltender. I don't think he's an elite goaltender. So what you need is two things: him to play to his capabilities, and the team in front of him. Like, there's a lot of times teams, for example, Las Vegas. They won with league average goaltending.
Yes.
But they had strong systematic play, and it didn't matter who they plugged in there. Aiden Hill did the job. So I don't know if the Oilers believe that they can do that with, we'll call it, if you can get Skinner and or whoever you bring in to be league average. I think that's probably what they're thinking. But they have to bring somebody in. And Pickett's going to play tonight. I thought I read that. Is that correct? He's playing tonight. And,
yep.
So is he the answer? I mean, he's a guy who's been, he's been kind of a journeyman. I don't think he's the answer. What you need to do is upgrade in that position. And I would do it sooner than later, because what you're doing is you win 8 in a row, you claw back in, and now you lose 3 in a row. And you're right. That third period against Tampa, those were 2 awful goals. Awful. And because the Oilers were in complete control of that game, and they were going to break Vasilevsky at some point. But Tampa scores those 2 quick goals, and now you're not going to break Vasilevsky because he's that good. He actually knuckled down even more, which was insane because he was all world. So, you leave those 2 points. I get it. That broke the streak, all of that. But now all of a sudden, the next game, lackluster against Florida. Against the Islanders, they're a moldy team. They're a greasy team. They rely on their goaltender, and they just kind of chip away at you, and all of a sudden it's 3-1, and you can't recover because they've got one of the top goaltenders in the world. So they need somebody to play with Stuart Skinner. And, I think the bigger picture, too, is Skinner, is he progressing? I think he is, but the NHL is not a developmental league. The NHL is the NHL. It's the best league in the world. So he can learn on the job and gain experience, but you still have to be able to produce. And if you're not producing, you got to go to somebody else. And the unfortunate part is the guy that they brought in paying $5 million, he's not done the job. They got him in the minors. He might be wearing a ball cap on the bench some nights. Yep. I'm not even sure. I haven't been tracking it that well. So they do have to figure that situation out.
You got anything, Jay?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, did somebody cut a piece of the artwork behind you out? Is there a corner missing, or am I missing something here?
You know what? I didn't even notice that. Yes.
I think you've been robbed.
What is
somebody
this?
Took some of your fine artwork.
The thing is, though, they might have designed it that way.
Weird.
Let me see.
Crazy.
I didn't even look at that.
How the hell did you spot that, Jay?
The nasty chat. They've been bringing it up.
The corner is gone too then.
Oh, so it's definitely on purpose. Okay.
It's on purpose. And, I didn't even know. Listen, I'm pulling myself out of a fog this morning. Now you're brain teasers on me. I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't.
No, you know what? The hidden corners are actually hidden in your bedroom somewhere. You need to find them and complete the puzzle.
It's a task.
Well, I am in Denver, and all I've read is isn't Denver
the creepy airport?
Yeah, the Illuminati or whatever. So
totally,
it's overtaken your
room.
Sort
of Jedi mind mess. Who knows?
It's a test.
I just have a quick question,
Yeah,
just as a more general question, just on the consistency of the Oilers as of late. I said it earlier in the show, but over their last 21 games, lost 4, win 3, lost 3, win 8. Now they've lost 3 in a row. Have you been on teams like that have struggled with consistency? And is there a way out of it to finding a path to a more consistent level of play?
I think there is. I've been on teams like that where it takes a little time to settle into a groove, where you know how to play every night. Now, we see it at the starting of the season in the NHL. Usually teams are very sloppy with their systematic play because their habits aren't instilled yet. So it's you got to think about it on the ice. You got to run your routes, and that's why usually goal scoring is up early in the season. And then what happens is you settle in, and down the stretch, your game is a lot tighter. We call it buttoned up. It's buttoned up.
Yeah.
The Oilers have never been a buttoned up team, but if you look at it from January on last year, they played a way that was buttoned up for them because, they were one of the best teams in the league. They knew how to win. Their power play just destroyed teams. Like they got rolling. Right now, I look at this group, and I wouldn't call it the maturity of it, but there's still something off where it's on any given night. You don't know exactly what you're going to get from certain players. And if that's a maturity level, like Evan Bouchard is a guy, and I know people like to kick him in the junk, and he's deserved some of it, right?
Sure.
Because it's, offensively, he's a dynamo there on that power play. He's a good puck mover when he makes the right decision, but there's nights where you're like, man, I have no idea what the hell that guy's thinking on that play. So there's a maturity level that comes with certain players where you're like, okay, if they can get to a point where it's consistent. Same thing, Darnell Nurse. There's times where, like, I think less is more with Darnell.
Totally.
Because you can see with Darnell, it's never from a lack of effort because he'll make a mistake and then he wants to work so hard to make up for that mistake so he'll make a second one. And then he goes, you know what? I'm going to get involved emotionally. I'm going to punch somebody ahead and take a bad penalty. Like there's like a progression with Darnell where instead – it's just like relax and play your game. I say this to guys all the time, and it's easier said than done. And believe me, I knew as a player, I was a high anxiety guy. I never was able to relax and play my game. I was always on edge. But if you look at it, some of these guys overthink it, and then they run out of position. And then the game is so fast. But there's times where I've wanted more from certain players, and it seems to be pretty consistent. Cody Cece's been from the start of the year been a mess. I thought there was a point when that 8-game stretch where he'd really stabilized with Darnell, and same thing Bouchard. I felt during the stretch as well, and correct me if you guys think I'm wrong, but I think the key to the back end is Ekholm, and Ekholm misses training camp, and I thought he was a step behind in his decision making and his speed.
Yep.
So all of a sudden that takes away from Bouchard. And all of a sudden, Ekholm's not taking some of the minutes away from Nurse that he should. So he kind of makes that whole back end go. And I thought, his game, his pace has come up. So that helps out the back end. Up front, Ryan McLeod I've been disappointed in because I think that guy has so much speed, so much ability, and he rarely challenges middle ice. He's a perimeter player.
Yep.
And I don't know if Knobloch has gotten to these guys individually and said, this is my expectation for you as a player. You need to do this, X, Y, and Z. So there's certain things. So the consistency is on a nightly basis, and I know this has been a long-winded answer, but it's like everyone has to play their role within the team to go, this is how we're going to have success tonight. It's Nurse playing efficient. It's Ekholm settling down Bouchard. The power play has to be a difference maker. It has to be that scary power play again. And I know there's been flashes of it, but that was the most consistent thing of the Oilers in the last couple of years is their power play's been a killer.
Yep.
So it's either gotten them into games or let them dominate games where 5-on-5 they can just kind of do their thing. So everyone has to play their role, and special teams has to be a difference maker. And, you give up – was that a shorty the other day that gave up against the Island?
Yep. Terrible pass by
backbreaking.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So just the details of it, I think that they have to find that. And let's be honest, this league it doesn't even have to be called the NHL. It could be called goalie. Because if you've got good goaltending, goaltending masks a lot of stuff.
Yep.
And I haven't seen – during that stretch – I did see Skinner make some good saves at the right time, the timely saves.
Yep.
But just like we talked about with Tampa, I didn't think he made any big saves against the Islanders the other night. Watching the game, I thought, a couple solid saves. But if you make one of those 2-on-1 saves, if you make one, if you squeeze the league goal, maybe the game looks different. So there's a lot more to give with this group and a lot more consistency. And the coach has to hold them to task too. There's got to be accountability.
Jamie McLennan joining us now, TSN hockey analyst. I got one last one for you here, Jamie, because I know you're busy.
I got nothing but time for you. I actually woke up with a good voice, so
you sound
can ramble
great.
for an hour if you want.
Seem fired up. I'm appreciating this. Let's bring it back to the Sens because they made waves and news. Jacques Martin returns again behind the bench for Ottawa. It seems like he's been in the NHL for 50 years now. What is the future of this Sens club? And we knew that this move would be inevitable with DJ Smith, being let go or not coming back behind the Sens bench. Could a Jay Woodcroft surface on Steve Staios' radar at some point? Or is that type of rumor mill starting to churn in Ottawa?
It hasn't yet. It will, but I think everything's still so fresh. My gut instinct, and this is not from talking to anybody in the organization, just kind of observing what's going on, is that I think it's going to be Jacques and Daniel Alfredson the rest of this year. Mm-hmm. And then they will do a full, almost like forensic audit of the whole organization. The one thing that has stood out for me when Michael Andlauer bought the team and then Steve Staios came in is they've used this phrase, best in class. Michael Andlauer will spend money to get the best in class. Now, if you look at it, it's been a slow, methodical, kind of assessment for them. They did the move with Pierre Dorian, where I think that was inevitable, but also the losing of the draft pick because of the Dadonov situation, yes. Like that, that was the final nail. Okay. So then you make that move, and Staios has kind of been around the team for about 2 months at that point. Then, the team hits the ditch here. You got to make the move with DJ. I don't think they could have come off this road trip and allowed DJ to be the coach on Saturday against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The fan base would have been owly. Mm-hmm. It would have been a bad situation to put everybody in. So they make the move. But they hired Jacques Martin as advisor, and Jacques been around the last, we'll call it 6 weeks, just kind of hovering. Like, I thought it was weird. The other day, the Carolina game, I was between the benches, and I looked over in warm-up, and Jacques was on the bench.
What?
And I thought, okay,
wow.
I thought that was a, kind of a telltale. Like,
yeah.
When you're an advisor, you're kind of invisible. And he was very visible. And I thought to myself, okay, it's only a matter of time. So it happens. But you hear the names. I think Jay would be a guy. I think Jay McKee might be a guy who has a long history with the Andlauer group and Steve Staios.
Yep.
I've heard John Gruden's name. And again, that's just through media reports and online, as we know, trust online stuff. Ask the Shohei, trust the Shohei Ohtani stuff. Trust the
Don't
online.
talk about
too soon.
Try maybe John Morosi could figure that one out. But anyways, but like you've kind of heard rumblings, but I don't think anything will happen. But I do believe this: Andlauer has made 2 moves, or Staios has made 2 moves. It's been the manager and it's been the coach. I still think there's about 8 more moves to be made, and they're going to look at every situation in their organization. They probably look at their marketing team to build up. They'll look at their PR team to build up. Because if you look at it, and I know there's one extreme with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but I remember last summer when Brad Treliving took over, I looked at their website for the amount of people that worked for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was 150 people in that front office. And that was like, strength and conditioning, developmental coaches, scouts. I looked at the Ottawa Senators. There was like 41. So now Michael Andlauer is going to come in. He's going to spend some money and add some resources. So that's where I believe it's going to be. That was step 2 the other day. There's probably 8 more steps to do to continue to build up. I've heard they hired a new strength and conditioning guy or added to the group, and Matt Nickel, who is one of the best in class guys out of Toronto.
Yep.
So you can see the progression of the organization. They're going to build it out, but they can't do it overnight. So and the other thing too is the guys got to grow up on the ice. They're an immature team that can't handle adversity, and they get up in a game, and all of a sudden something happens in the game that jolts them, and they can't recover. We've seen it time and time again. Saw it in Arizona the other night where they lose. They give up 3 in the third period and lose 4-3, where they were in complete control of that game.
Yeah. Noodles, it's going to be an interesting process to watch unfold in Ottawa, and we'll see if Jay Woodcroft does wind up there. I know that'll be something that Oilers fans will keep an eye on for sure. Always great to catch up with you. Rest up, get well, and Merry Christmas to you and your family.
And once again, do not take Mucinex. Or if you do, if you want to sleep like you're in a coma, take some Mucinex.
Maybe it has something to do with the picture.
It was. You know what? The picture was watching me last night. Now that you think
going
about
on
it,
there.
so.
Be careful.
That's why
Be careful.
That's why I wore clothes to bed. You never know. You never know when there's hidden cameras in the hotel room.
Right?
You never know.
It's Denver. Noodles, great to see you, man. Be well.
Thanks for having me, guys. We'll chat soon.
There is TSN hockey analyst JB McLennan for Pro-Am Sports, your go-to source for the Oilers Heritage Classic gear. If there's any left, tell them Dusty the Elf sent you. Go say hi to Jack and Ken over at Pro-Am Sports. All right, we can squeeze in kind of easy trivia. If you want to play, text YouTube Trev, say, I want to play $25 GC to Mr. Mike's on the line. We're going to make it more than kind of easy. We're going to make it super easy trivia. Trev will pick someone to play, and we want to get that $25 GC to you from Mr. Mike's. And then we'll also do 3 questions too many from Park Mazda. We do have to get to Rod Black. We'll squeeze that in as well. This show goes quickly.
We don't squeeze Rod Black in. He squeezes us in.
We got time for you guys.
I gotta make a comment.
I love you, Tim. You're a great young broadcaster. Well, Rod, I'm almost 40, and my name's Tom.
I thought everything was going so well with my spunky, great sports updates. I've been delivering wrong information all morning.
Why? Actually? About what?
I've been called out on it here, so I
What
just
did you do?
want to clear the air. Okay. The Capitals actually took down the Islanders with a game-winning goal from Dylan Strome.
Yeah.
I was
you said
saying
the
it the
Islanders.
other way. So my apologies. If anybody had a
didn't catch
minor
that.
heart attack about Dylan Strome now playing for the Islanders, my apologies. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad.
Excellent. Feliz Navidad. 780-218-9999, the Paris Jewelers inbox. If you want to play kind of easy trivia, $25 GC to Mr. Mike's on the line. We want to get that to you. The coach texted in, says, Tommy, can you ask Jamie why does media not ask the tough questions to the coaches? His comment is spot on about McLeod. Just curious, not a challenge. Thanks from the coach. Okay. What I will say is generally, I'm there pretty much every day. You have a relationship with some of the coaches. Post-game is where it gets contentious. I'm not in the room post-game because we're doing the post-game show, so I'm not in the room post-game. But sometimes you want to have a good rapport with the coaches and players, and you don't go for the throat, if you will. That's a strategy for some. Now, Buffalo is in a world of hurt right now, and I think it was Paul Hamilton, and he was going after Don Granato pretty good because of everything that's going on there. So it does happen. And then to the coach, I would say, too, part of the reason why you don't always get the the real hard questions that are going after them is, especially on the road, the only people that are traveling nowadays generally is team media and partners.
Yeah. Makes it awkward.
And they're not going to really stick it to them.
I seen that.
So
That's fair, though, right?
yeah. Now,
It's kind of a respect thing.
well, when you're a partner,
Yeah,
you don't want to ask those questions because it ruffles the feathers.
sure.
It ruffles the feathers, and you want to maintain the relationship really, really well.
Look
Okay.
at Penner's Pancakes comment.
What's Penner's? What did he say?
He says, don't be a speck.
Well, listen, I know Speck has rubbed people the wrong way, and a lot of people in oil country are frustrated by him. But when the team was in turmoil right before the Jay Woodcroft firing, he was asking the hard questions. He was hitting the Oilers with the old 1-2, and basically no one else was there to do that. And that was when the team was on the road. So I don't want to defend our media. When they had the press conference unveiling Chris Knobloch, we had to ask some tough questions. There's a way to ask them too.
I think that's the thing, that you can get lost in translation there, and how you approach it, how you attack it is different.
But
different for different people and different roles within the team as well.
And it can get contentious. It just depends on the situation. And the coach, I could go and do an hour on that. But I try to squeeze it in as quickly as possible.
Not right now.
We have to move.
It's kind of easy trivia.
Who do we have for kind of easy trivia?
Right now, we've got Sheldon.
Sheldon on the line. Let's bring Sheldon on. Hello, Sheldon. Good morning. How you doing, man?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. We're going to do this on the fly. I hope you have a couple of easy questions to ask Sheldon. Do you?
I do. No, you do. I have the timer.
All right, you have the timer?
I'm going to see if this works.
All right, Sheldon, we want to get you a $25 GC to Mr. Mike's. You ready for this?
I'm ready to go.
All right, here we go. Sheldon, who do the Oilers play tonight?
Nope.
The Devil.
Who did the Raptors lose to last night?
Oh, wow.
That was a
Who
bad
did the
question.
Raptors do? I don't know that one.
Did they win last night?
The Raptors did not win last night.
Correct. Did the Blue Jays land Shohei Ohtani?
They unfortunately did not.
Who do the Oilers play tomorrow night?
Not the Devils.
Finally, how's Jay doing as first-time host on the Nielson show?
Actually, really good. We were talking about him in the truck. Not too bad for being a first-timer.
Sheldon,
my man.
Congratulations,
my
buddy.
man.
You got yourself a $25 GC to Mr. Mike's. YouTube Travel, get your information, and we'll get that to you. Enjoy the sirloin bite, Sheldon. So we had to patch that together because we had Noodles hop on. The Raptors lost to the Nuggets. I wanted to ask, did the Raptors win last night? But no, we made that work really, really quickly, and we're in the spirit of giving. So, Sheldon, congrats, man. Thank you for playing impromptu version of Kinda Easy Trivia, brought to you by Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever in the Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail. The Sirloin Bites to die for. Brand new location now in Fort Sask as well. Classic Mr. Mike burger that Dusty absolutely loves. And he says he grew up on. We'll have to get to 3 questions too many, but we do have Rod Black coming up. And
Can't wait.
We'll have to squeeze that in after we talk with Rod. Rod Black's good to go? Yeah, he's got you. He's going to be ready to go. So
I'm going to sneak out and get coffee number 2 because you morning people are crazy. This was a 4:30 wake-up call for your EST glue guy.
EST glue guy, Jay Milne, filling in for Lieutenant Eric. There's your second coffee. Tom Gazzola in for Dusty. Big Daddy Davos hitting the road for the Spangler Cup, calling it for TSN. And let's welcome in a legendary voice and friend of the program, Rod Black. Rod, how are you this morning? Thank you for coming on. So it's just always great to catch up with you.
Yeah, happy holidays, guys. Good to, I know it's a frantic time of year in sports and in life. I think I'm going to I may start my Christmas shop. No, screw that. I'll start it. I'll do it the day before. Busy week though, so yeah, it's good to be with you guys as always.
Hey, Rod, when you do Christmas shop, are you an online Amazon guy, or do you actually go out among the regular folk and buy stuff at stores? Like, where are you at right now with your Christmas shopping?
I got my new Christmas carol. I'll have an Amazon Christmas without you. No, I'm definitely an online guy.
Yep.
For unique stuff, but I still kind of like, I don't know, call me cheap. Call me cheap, whatever. I do like the Christmas Eve day, kind of the bustle.
Yep.
With all the men, it's mostly men and guys. But it's a good time because they actually have Boxing Day sales too. So, why pay full freight when you can get maybe a bit of a deal? So yeah, I'm probably a hybrid right now. I'm probably half and half. A little bit of online, and then probably real life as well. But I also try to go shopping with some buddies, and what happens is we generally have a lunch, maybe a liquid lunch, and by the time 4 o'clock rolls around, I completely forgot what I was going to buy, and then I have to go back online. Then I just end up going to a Shoppers Drug Mart and getting gift cards.
Sounds eerily familiar. Rod Black, yes. Rod Black joining us now. Rod, what does Christmas and New Year's look like for the Black family? I know you've got older kids. We talked about Tyler, and he's on the cusp of making his MLB debut. You've got a you got more than just Tyler in the family as well. But what do you guys do at Christmas this time, or nowadays?
It is. It's crazy. My wife and I, we have 4. We had at one time we had 4 under 6. So Christmas is a lot different. We have the kind of tradition. I have a big family from Winnipeg. We used to go out quite a bit, but my parents passed a few years ago, so it's not quite the same. So we're now, our burgeoning family ourselves. It's been kind of the same the last few years. We have a Christmas Eve. Pre-pandemic, we would go to church, and it was frankly the only time we went to church all year. And then our Christmas mornings were always early, and no matter how old they were always up early and then getting into the gifts and stuff. But now it's a little different. They wake up a little later. I will tell you that my 2 oldest, who are the baseball players, they generally even go work out. A couple of years ago it was really warm. We actually hit balls.
Wow.
So they'll actually, there's no time off. They kind of like that, kind of a cool thing to do. And it's kind of like everybody else, just a family day, lots of eating, lots of drinking, lots of wondering why some relatives that you don't really like are actually at your house. The old uncle in the corner, why is he here?
Happens to everyone.
But it's a good time. I think it's a time for all of us to kind of reflect, and it's easy to get sentimental and all of that. For the you kind of look back. Everybody looks back on the year that was, and I know our family kind of does. I always my kids, they bug me every year, but I do a letter up for them about what they did this year. It's kind of a gift, what they're going to do next year, and generally, and they always make fun of it. There's Dad's letter. But generally, they, and I go, maybe this is the last year. They go, where's your letter? Where's your letter?
Right.
So, right.
Yeah. And then they open up the bad gifts from me generally. And I always get socks and ties or whatever from the kids. But that's okay. And then this year, I think we're still trying to plan a getaway just because our family's together for the first time. They're all over the place. I got Tyler playing down south, and my other boy Brody plays in Baltimore, college ball there, and my boy Jesse, who aspires to be on Edmonton Sports Talk someday. I think he wants to be he's falling to the lowest common denominator, guys. He's actually I think he's going to be a creator. My daughter is a singer, actress, hockey player.
Wow.
She's in college. It's really kind of nice to have. I think I speak for everybody probably listening to. All you want to do is be with the people that are most important with you at that time of year. And then just after we have the breakfast and open the gifts, then you know what you do.
What?
You get on the couch and you watch the NFL games or the NBA game. I do think there's too many NBA games now, though. I think that's crazy. I think they got 5, right?
Yeah.
You can't watch. I mean, I used to like when it was special. There was like 2 games.
Right.
Now it's like everybody's got a game. Let's all play. I think it still should be special. They should only have like the doubleheader. Same thing with the NFL if they do play on Christmas or whatever. I mean, there still has to. You should still be spending time with your family. And if you're like me, and I don't like some of them, I will go watch sports.
Speaking of the NBA, Rod, I'm watching the Raptors in the spirit of giving and giving away points, not points, but wins to other teams as a gift. 11-17 this season, 3-7 in their last 10. They lost last night. Last night I'm watching, the post-game recap, and Jack Armstrong and Sam Mitchell, they're talking about, is it time to blow this thing up? And I think on our old station, Rod, I even asked you last year when that was starting to come up. Are they at the point where they might look at shuffling up this roster? Because it seems like it's not working again.
Yeah, you constantly have to. And that's, I think I talked to you guys at the beginning of the season too. And I did say that it would be a real struggle for this team to make the playoffs. And it can be the eternal optimist. And when I was doing Raptor games, I think I was pretty truthful, and I kind of had them in the pecking order for most years. When they went out and got Kawhi Leonard and they had that team that was formidable in the East, you knew they had a chance. You'd have to, again, that was fool's gold at the beginning of this season. And I do think that there are some opportunities out there to move some players. I think there has been some complacency that has set into this franchise. I mean, guys, it's only 4 years since they won a championship, but I don't know about you, it seems a lot longer. And I know they'll always have the championship, but my thing in sports is you want to win more. And the successful franchises continuously make changes. I think they've stayed too pat with some of the core players, and they should have. And the problem when you do that is, like, and as we can talk about this in hockey, I'm sure you guys talk about this with hockey and baseball and football. When you stay with those players and you're not taking the next step up the mountain, generally you're going to start sliding down the mountain because you're not going to be able to move them. So that window for moving certain players, and you know who those players are right now, you know, Pascal Siakam for sure, OG Anunoby for sure. Those are your bargaining chips right now. Before they get too old, where you're not going to get anything, you better get something, because they're building this team around Scotty Barnes. It's clear, and he's probably the only untouchable. I would say every other player. The problem is, do you rebuild or do you reload? I think they may be between rebuild and reload. They may have to gut it, and the NBA, there's no secret as well. You've got to get a franchise player in a draft pick. And look at Victor Wembanyama for the San Antonio Spurs and Wemby Mania. And by the way, they're going to be good some years, but it's kind of like what the Oilers had to do for many years. And I know people are going to go, well, we still haven't won a cup, but you have to kind of suck for a couple of years in a row to get two really good young players, or three potential. I think back to Pittsburgh the way it happened. And I think it's going to happen with Edmonton eventually sometime with their hockey team. But you've kind of, you know, you got to get those if you got a chance at generational players, take your shot. That's what San Antonio did. Wembanyama, even though they've won and lost a ton of games, you've got to take the pain right now to get the game. Look at the Texas Rangers. What happened? You go back over the year in sport, the Texas Rangers had to take a step back. All the teams that won this year, championships, had to take steps back, kind of rebuild, reload, and then went forward again. Denver Nuggets, same thing with injury. Las Vegas Knights, you arguably could say the same thing. Remember when they came in, then they had to step back a little bit, bang. But you can't, if you gut it all the way, you could also be in danger of being very mediocre or below average for a long time. So it's a real dance right now. I have a feeling they are going to make some moves before the trade deadline, though.
Wemby is a freak, the way his body is built. I just want to say that.
Yeah, can you imagine now, you know, again, they're probably going to get another draft pick if they haven't traded or moved that pick. They're going to get, I think they got a few more picks. Could you imagine having, you know, somebody who's a little tougher around him as well? And now you add another shooting guard. He's the piece that you put everything else around. And there are a lot of other pieces out there that you could put around Wemby. And for all your listeners out there who haven't watched Victor Wembanyama, because the games are later, the highlights. He is a freak. He is a generational, multi-skilled player, and down the road, we may have a lot more Victor Wembanyamas. Guys who are his height, who can shoot and carry the ball up the floor, which is insane. Like, his handles are nuts. That's where we're going. When the tall guys can start doing that, which they're doing it now, the game is like Cirque du Soleil.
Look out. Jay Milne.
Rod, you had touched on sports stories of the year from this past season. You mentioned the Texas Rangers, obviously. The Raptors might not be in that conversation. And I do agree. I think a gut job is in order here. But, and maybe one of those pieces goes to San Antonio. Chew on that. Think about that.
Oh, yeah.
Top sport stories of the years of this past year, Rod. What do you think specifically with Canadian sports or Canadian teams were some of the top stories from 2023?
Well, it's an interesting year, and I'm one of the voters for the Northern Star Award, which was the Lou Marsh, and you kind of look back at it, and I did buy the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. By the way, I think he was an incredible story.
Totally,
he's a superstar. Again, the Raptors probably had a chance to get him a couple of years ago and failed on that point. They may have been able to move a couple of those pieces. For you got to see the player on the rise. I still thought Jamal Murray story was an incredible story from a basketball point of view, from his comeback, and I still don't think he got enough props, particularly in the vote for Athlete of the Year. He won a championship, and I'm going to tell you, the Denver Nuggets don't win without him.
Yep.
They haven't had Jokic. They're not winning without Jamal Murray. How important was he? I think Connor McDavid's story again. I think Connor McDavid could have been and should have been maybe Athlete of the Year in Canada for what he did. And if you're just going by, like the rise of the player and the numbers that they put up. I mean, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander put up great numbers, but he wasn't the MVP in the league. He was a great all-star. Connor McDavid was incredible, had an incredible year, but did he win? And I think hockey players kind of there's a prejudice towards hockey players in that voting for individual athletes.
Totally.
But I do think a couple other stories were failure stories. The men's soccer team, after an incredible year that got everybody to these incredible heights, and the failure again. I find stories like that, the bounce back stories, really intrigue people. I honestly think as the year wound down, I think a story that's going to resonate for a long time is the Shohei Ohtani story.
Yes.
And the sweepstakes. And how sports has become this unbelievable bonanza for athletes. Who would have ever thought, guys, I'm showing my age, but I remember when Joe Carter and Kirby Puckett signed the first $3 million deal for outfielders. And the sports world went crazy. Oh my God, this will never go. Or Alex Rodriguez for $25 million. Oh, this is sacrilege. How can we ever do this? Or a hockey player signing for $1 million. There is so much money in sports, and the way the dominoes are falling, it makes you wonder down the road where sports will be and how much. Can we start bringing the ticket prices down again so that average fans can go? Like, how are they going to pay for all this? The TV deals, I can't see them getting any bigger. For certain sports, yes, they still are attracting that, but you're seeing regional sports networks go the wayside. I think that was a huge story, and combining that also with the proliferation of gambling in sports, I think it's a huge story, and it's going to reverberate down the road where everything has a line. There's a parlay on every game. And again, it's easy for me to talk about it or to criticize it or be hypocritical of it, but it's the way the sports world has gone. Where will we be, 5-10 years down the road with that crystal ball that we're kind of looking at? Will players be paid like this continuously? Is the market like that? And can small market teams, can NHL teams in small markets afford to be there? So that to me is like the business side of it was definitely a huge story. I think we also lost a lot of great athletes this year, unfortunately. And
true.
I just this morning, your memories come up, and there was a memory I had, George Reed, and I think about him as such a great person and a legend in Canadian football, and how important he was to the fabric of a city and a province and a league at the time. And when I look at that, I think about how much sports has changed. The women's hockey league getting, up and running finally, all these kind of stories centering around growth in sport. But I also do think that we sometimes forget the simple stories, that we need to talk more about these amateur athletes. And are there amateur athletes around anymore, guys, like true amateur athletes? But we forget about hometown sports. We need to get back to where we were sometimes. And I think this time of year starts to, you think about going down to the local rink and watching your kids play, your boys, your girls, to watching them play, whatever sport that is. And I like it. And, maybe I'm just getting old, but I kind of yearn for those days when sport meant that the beauty of just participating in something. And I think we're getting away from that a little bit. But having said that, it was a very chaotic year in sports, a year of change. And now, as we look ahead to this year, it's another Olympic year, right?
Yep.
We'll be talking. I'm sure we'll talk next year at this time, and we'll probably be talking about an Andre DeGrasse or someone else who had an incredible Olympics in Paris. And back to the other one about business. Liv, I think, was a huge story this year.
Right.
Liv and PK. Who would have ever thought? I think money, actually 2023, I think for the year in sports, take the 2, 0, 2, and the 3, and put a vertical line down the 3, and that is a dollar signal. And I think the dollar sign, I do think 2023 in sports was show me the money.
Yep.
Show me the money.
Shohei.
Come on, show me the money.
Show me the Shohei.
Yeah,
show me the money.
700.
It was all kind of about business and the other stories that are around it. But again, we still love the purity. That's why we love sports, the unpredictability of it, and the beauty when it's played at the highest level possible.
Yeah, we do love it. Shohei Ohtani, big money. John Rahm, you talk about Liv making the jump for what was it, like close to $600 million, and all those things he said about
crazy.
Liv, right?
It's crazy. Like, you think about the amount of money that, again, where so many people are suffering, especially, the average person out there. Everybody has to pay bills. And you look at, like, how these athletes have become billionaires.
Yes.
Like, it's, in a million years, did I ever think we'd be talking about billionaires? But that's what the market is showing.
Yep.
It's unbelievable. It really, truly is unbelievable. And again, I just kind of wish that the average fan could take their family to a game and not have to, mortgage, get a line of credit or, get in trouble because an average night in Toronto. I'll tell you guys, if you take a family out of 4 or 5 to a hockey game or a basketball game, that's a $2,000 night. And, an average fan out there, or somebody who's making a middle class income, like, you do that 3 times a year, that's a lot of money after taxes. So maybe I'm just reminiscing on the old times the way it was, but we always talked about ticket prices. But it's incredible the way we've come and gone, and like how much money is out there. Insane.
It is insane. But you know what, Rod? You were the right guy to sum it all up, take a look back at the year that was, and then take a look ahead to what's coming up in 2024. It's always a pleasure to have you on. I truly admire and appreciate you as always. And with that being said, Merry Christmas to you and the family. Happy New Year, sir. And I look forward to doing this again with you in 2024.
Anytime. I love you guys. Say hello to Lieutenant Eric, who I admire deeply. And I think another great story is the fact that you guys rose from the ashes. I think that's a fantastic story. We need more sports radio in all our markets. We need more local stories, more people telling local stories across our country. That's what it's about. We need great storytellers like you guys. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And if you're not going to drink heavily, hey, try some gummies. Why not?
That's why you're a legend.
The voice of an angel.
That's right. Voice of an angel.
Right,
Rod,
have a great one. I look forward to chatting with you.
Likewise. Oh, Rod Black. So good. So good. Okay, we're going to squeeze in. We have to get to the wrap, and we have to squeeze in not kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. I'm going to do this. It's a quick version. Give me those for our good friends at Park Mazda. We're going to do this. It's the J. Milne edition of 3 questions too many, brought to you by the staff at Park Mazda and Mitch Lewicki. He learned a while back that if he does not text 911, people do not return his calls, but people always return his calls because they think something horrible has happened. All right. Kind of easy trivia. We got in the bag. Sheldon, congratulations. You picked up a $25 GC to Mr. Mike's. Now we get to 3 questions too many for Park Mazda, and it's the Jay Milne edition. Jay is doing his first morning show. Jay, how did you find the Nielson show and the process of doing it?
You were right. It flew by a lot faster than I certainly had anticipated.
Told ya.
I'm not even halfway through my second coffee.
Right.
So that tells you all you need to know. You know what? Awesome. The people here, and I said it yesterday on the draft, the people that are part of this cult of EST are so welcoming, so encouraging, and just nice. It's great to have such a vibrant online community conversing back and forth and bantering, and I love that. I live for that stuff. So thank you for making it very easy on me.
All right, Jay Milne, what was the biggest story in the world of sports, in your opinion, in 2023?
EST rising from the ashes of another station to becoming a global domination broadcast center.
I appreciate that. We pay you to.
But honestly,
yeah,
think of what you guys have accomplished here and what we as a family are going to accomplish further down the road. I mean, we're watching YouTube Trev grow right before our eyes.
Really?
Like, sad, but true.
Beautiful. Beautiful, too. All right, Jay Milne, last question for 3 questions too many. What is one piece of advice, tidbit of information you would pass along to our AM nasties when it comes to handling New Year's Eve?
Well, pickled herring. for the win.
Ugh.
If you aren't dabbling in pickled herring, you're missing out. That's my advice. I would say hit it hard, hit it early, and hit it often.
Disgusting. That is 3 questions too many. J. Milne edition for Park Mazda, your dealer for life. All right, we got to get to the wrap for William Huff. Visit williamhuff.com. Wrapping the city since 19-diggity-2, and by diggity I mean 72. Make your place look as good as ours with Bruce and the team at William Huff. Let's bring in YouTube. Trev, what did we learn today, pal?
Oh gosh, you brought me on the spot.
Yeah,
I learned that whatever Noodles took, apparently that gives you a good sleep, and I haven't
Mucinex.
Yeah,
He says don't get it.
So I haven't been sleeping that good lately. So maybe I'll give that a go. That's what I learned. Also a
What?
huge one. Jay's just a natural. Yeah, I text Dusty. He's like, "How's Jay doing?" I'm like, "He is an absolute beauty, just crushing it." And a lot of people in the chat, man, who are just saying like, "Holy crap, you're doing real good. And you're natural." So I'd like to echo those thoughts. You're doing amazing, man. And I shouldn't say I learned that. I always knew it, but you impressed me. I'm not
You
gonna
got
lie.
my back.
Yeah,
I got
How'd it be,
yours
buddy?
too.
Thanks, bro.
ELE. Everybody love everybody.
ELE.
Teamwork. We get through this together, right? Like
It
Jackie
takes
Moon
teamwork to make a dream work.
That's right. Jay
do
Milne,
this.
will you be doing the morning show when an opportunity arises? Do you think that you could do this every now and then? Yeah?
Heck yeah. I mean, I already got the text of the day ready.
Let's get to the text of the day. What is it?
The text of the day comes in from Vermin, VRMN. I like to think of the show's audio as nuclear launch codes. Dusty has the goal songs, and Lieutenant Eric takes the conch. Too powerful for just one to possess.
Oh. Well done. That is a good text.
I thought that was very on point, considering that they totally left us with nothing.
They didn't. Dell says, what a suck, Trev. You know what? That's a smart
I
play
ain't
on your
Trev's
point.
boss, man. He had no reason
No,
to
I
suck
know.
up to me.
I know.
Unless he wants some furniture.
Hey, if people are looking for furniture, where can they go, Jay?
IKEA. No, just kidding.
No.
You can come see me at Yvonne's. Come say hi.
There you go.
I'd love to see you.
There you go. You say you know a guy. And it's Jay Milne, EST glue guy, and maybe Jay helps you out. Looking for that
Always. And you
piece of
just mentioned
furniture.
the code nasty.
See, I like that.
Yeah.
We've got
Then I'll know.
Then they'll know. We've got the hangout coming up next. Matthew Iwanek is in tow. So is Murray McCourt. You can catch Murray on the VIP Golf Show here during the golf season. And looking forward to actually getting I want to get out to one putt over on the north side. I haven't been able to yet. My clubs, Jay, even though it's the middle of the hockey season, the weather has been very nice for this winter. We've had the El Nino, as Josh Clausen told us about a couple weeks ago on the hangout. But I was doing some work around my home, and then I went to my guest room, and that's where I keep my clubs. And I looked at them, and I'm like, I need to hit these bad boys. So I will be getting out to one putt at one point. Great partner here at EST. A big thank you to all of our partners who make it happen here on Edmonton Sports Talk. To all the nasties, any text that we want to get to before we wrap things up, because this is the last show, the last Nielsen show before the holidays. So
That was VR Montenegro, by the way.
VR Montenegro with the text of the day. Very well done. And he's right. Those guys did take all the good stuff. They didn't leave us with anything.
Jay, did you play? This is from Mick Bode. Jay, did you play for the Sherwood Park North Stars in 1995? Yes. Yes, I did.
Mick Bode.
Yeah. Why? Did you, Mick Bode? I'm assuming you did, because those stats aren't generally out there. Yeah, we were coached by Rod Schwartz. So if that's your coach, then show yourself. Tell me who you are.
Jason in Leduc texts in, says, pickled herring and saltines for the win. Jason in Leduc, Merry Christmas, pal. Thank you for sticking with us. Great to actually meet you in person when we had the 1260 night at Commonwealth earlier in the year. This text from Pitwall Nasty says, Buon Natale to Tommy and the Fugazi. Hope your panettone is good this year. Pitwall Nasty, no panettone for this guy. I hate that stuff.
Is panettone the bread that comes in the box?
Yeah.
Okay, every time I go to the Italian Center, I see these things, and I keep wondering, what is that? Is that some sort of a fruit cake?
Kind of. It sometimes they have like there's different versions of it. Some have like chocolate. Some are just straight up the bread. And a panettone.
That's an Italian thing?
It's totally an Italian thing. At least with our family, every Christmas, someone would bring a panettone. Sometimes there'd be multiple panettones, and I would just be like, oh, great. Oh, that's all. And my nonna would be like, Tomasino, have a panettone. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, things must be good with your mom again.
Yeah, everything's good.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
You were on the rocks there for a bit.
Well, no, everything's good with my mom. And my brother we're good.
You're good?
We're good.
Let's
For
not
those
even...
that no
not
need.
going.
The Gazzolas are back together for Christmas. It's all good.
You know, there's a lot of Merry Christmases out there. I
Yeah.
love it. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yes.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Feliz Navidad. What else do we say?
Buon Natale.
Buon Natale.
What else? Merry Christmas. Yeah, it's that time of year. The Wolf asking, hey guys, is Century Casino happening tonight? The Wolf just got into town, so I don't know if it's happening or not. No, the last one was on Monday, so that does it for the season, I believe, for Lieutenant Eric. They had a big crew there, a nice photo, and I know Fergie's prostate was there all season long. No backgammon, I think, on Monday. They wanted to have a good time together, and a shout-out to everyone who made Mondays and Thursdays at Century Casino a big thing. I think we're doing a Super Bowl party out there. I can't say for certain, but I believe we are. Matthew Wanek says yes. Okay, confirmed Super Bowl party with the EST crew at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. I look forward to getting out there for that one. Pat in the county says Rod Black is a goddamn beauty. Yes, he is. And any others? Jasmine says, Tom, you're making me proud. Not going to lie. You have to tune into the NBA sometime on Christmas Day. I will. I was watching last night. I was catching up on the Raptors, and I'm listening to Jack and Leo and Sam Mitchell and Kate Burness talking about blowing it up again. And I was like, oh, boy, we're like kind of not super early into the season, but relatively for the NBA. And we're watching an 11-17 Raptors team that can't win more than 2 in a row. 3-7 run right now in its last 10. And we're back to talking about, is it time to blow it up? And I was like, boy, I'm getting deja vu because I think around February we were talking about roster shuffle and is it time to move on from Pascal and Anunoby and and now we're talking about it again. So, yeah, that's why I had to throw that at Rod Black. Jasmine, yes, you had a positive influence on me when it comes to the NBA.
We forgot Joyeux Noel.
Joyeux Noel, yeah, to all of our
and
French
I'm half
folk.
Ukrainian, but I wasn't going to try butcher it without.
Go for it.
Thank you, Jerry Karpiak, for sending this in. Just forgive me in advance, but I believe it was Christos Rodvaisia. Yeah, something like that. How'd I do, Jerry?
Awanek's right there. He's going to say it.
Can you come over here and do it properly?
Yeah, we're going to wrap things up with the Ukrainian Merry Christmas. What do you got? He wants the mic. Give him the mic.
I have to say it.
Yeah.
Христос рождається, or Христос народився.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go.
I wasn't too
well
bad.
done.
And yes, Surveyor Brett, I did invest $100,000 into EST. That's why I'm here. I've paid for my time. They cannot fire me. I own them all.
All right. Well said. And maybe true, but not really. Okay, Atif and Pat in the county get the last words via the Paris Jewelers inbox. Atif says, Merry Christmas to the EST family. You guys are amazing, and I love being at the Centric Casino and meeting every single one of you. Bring on 2024 with an Oilers victory. That's from Atif. And then Pat in the county says, Merry Christmas, boys. All the best. Great job, Milne and Tommy. Always enjoy listening to you. Can't forget Trev. All the best.
Never.
Big thank you to everybody in the Paris Jewelers inbox and the Nasty Chat, to those watching on the EST YouTube channel. That will be the last Nielson show, I believe, for at least a week and a half or so. Big Daddy Davos away calling the Spengler. If you miss him, you can catch him on TSN. Lieutenant Eric already into holiday mode. So without further ado, for Jay Milne, I'm Tom Gazzola, and for YouTube Trev, saying thank you all. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to all the nasties out there. Thank you so much for allowing us to do this. We appreciate you. The Hangout with Matthew Awanek coming up next.